On two. Ready? Hey.
Yes, sir. You know what time it is. It is Sunday. It's time for the football frame of mind. So you ask yourself, there's three people on here today. Well, that's because we got a special guest, man. We like to welcome Chanel. Is that right?
Yes, that is.
Okay. From Ball Talk with Chanel. Um, like I said, we love doing these collabs. It's so awesome, right? Seeing our content on Facebook, and I was like, we gotta put it on the show. We gotta try. Gotta see what we got. All right.
All
So
right.
this
So
is
excited to be
awesome.
here.
Of course, man. So now we do it. Brandon, how you doing, bro?
It's good. We winding towards the end. Bittersweet, like really cool stuff going on. But at the end of the day, it's like, man, if your team sucks, your team sucks, and if your team's good, your team's good. And definitely had a lot of stuff, especially yesterday, a lot of shakeup. So especially with a certain quarterback from Georgia Tech that we were really high on. So definitely want to get into that today.
Right? Yeah, but it's not the end yet. We just getting started.
Yeah.
I mean, for some people, it's over with.
Some people, it's been over since September.
Yeah, Boston College.
Well, you know how much you love Bill O'Brien, so.
Yeah, we all know how I feel about Bill O'Brien. It's a love-hate relationship. So, but like I said, we're gonna get it started. Oh shit, there we go.
Perfect.
So we'll get it. We go backwards a little bit since we want to be extra today. All right, there we go. So, like I said, if you're a part of that 88% of people that haven't subscribed, but you watch all of our shorts, come on, man. What you doing? What are you doing? You gotta come on board, man. Stop it. You're playing around. Click the like button. It's free.
You're too good for the stairs, man. Take the elevator. So much easier.
There you go. Right. So, like I said, we happy that it went up though. Because last week, nasty.
We were trending in the right direction before last week.
Yeah, man. It's crazy how
it's that time of the year. It's that time of the year though. It's gonna jump back up.
Yeah, you got like 3 sports to watch.
Mm-hmm.
So let's see. So we're gonna start with our college stuff. So we start with our overreactions from the weekend. So Chanel, what's an overreaction from you this weekend?
Oh, definitely for me because I'm a Miami Hurricanes fan.
Oof.
So my overreaction was definitely watching the Hurricanes take on Virginia Tech. That was definitely something where I just kept looking and I was just like, "Oh my goodness, what are you doing? What do you mean? We got our first touchdown." And just seeing them, eventually we did win. I would like for it to be a blowout. Especially given the position that the Hurricanes are in right now, whether they're going to be able to make it to the playoffs, right? How the chances are kind of dwindling, smaller and smaller, right? So that was a bit of my overreaction this past weekend. And definitely between that and Georgia Tech kind of getting blown out by Pitt, that I was not expecting at all.
I'm waiting to see when we're going to see the final product of Carson Beck because, what is going on? You've been so teeter-totter, and I was like, oh, well, now I know how to throw it to my receivers, and I'm not going to throw them under the bus this week, so.
I think the problem is that Carson Beck, I think, gets a little bit too much into his head, and I think he starts to overthink certain plays, especially the deep shots down the field, right, where he just overdoes it, where it's just a simple one where your receiver's just running along the stitches. But I think also, too, I put some blame, and I've said this for a while, too, I put some blame on Mario Cristobal. I think especially some of the play calling is terrible. The time management is terrible.
That's an understatement. We talked about that last year.
Yes, Carson Beck has not been the greatest, but I really can't put my entire blame on Carson Beck. I really, really can't. That would not be fair to him. I do put blame on Mario Cristobal because, like I said, certain plays, especially when we're running the ball, when it's third down and 10, and I'm just looking like, what are we doing? Mind you, the past 5 plays were all little short screen passes, and it's like, thank you, this is what we need. If we're seeing that the pass defense for whatever team we're playing, it's not that good, why don't we continue to take advantage of that? Why don't continue to throw some deep shots, start throwing some screens, right? Start running some slants. And the fact that we keep running the ball, I don't know. That's been my overreaction, I think, all season. I can't even say just last week. It's just all season.
My thing with him, and I think why I'm so hard on him and Cam, those I bring it up like pretty frequently. I just hate the lack of accountability. Like, I just feel like he's really nonchalant, and I just don't like how he throws teammates under the bus. I just think that's kind of bad sportsmanship. And especially, like, when you're a quarterback, man, like, your receiver's confidence is, like, in your hands. And, like, when you kind of do that kind of thing, I feel like there becomes, like, a distrust. Like, I played receiver, and, like, if there was, like, a disconnection at all between you and the quarterback, whether, like, chemistry, anything like that really puts a damper on, like, what you can get accomplished and, like, what you can do offensively. So I don't think he's a bad athlete at all. I just kind of want to see that maturity from him,
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I think this transition from playing at Georgia last season to playing Miami this season, there's definitely needs to be that step up in maturity. I think that definitely the chemistry is off, especially between him and especially someone like Malachi Tony, who's a phenomenal receiver, or even CJ Downs. Like, you just see, the disconnect, like you were saying. So I would love to see some maturity from him, but just the Hurricanes' lackluster season, I can't put entirely the blame on Carson Beck. That just would not be fair.
No, that's understandable. I think mine would be, man, Cam, like, did we drink too much of the Georgia Tech Kool-Aid or what? Because, like, I know we're gonna get into it, but man, I tune in. I'm like, okay, 7-0, that's all right. 14-0. Like, it's okay. Like, I've seen them come back. Like, they usually start out slow. And I'm like 21, and I'm like 21 nothing. I'm like, that ain't too hot. I'm just like, dude, like, what is going on? Like, you have too much firepower, but the defense just undisciplined and just not able to contain that Pittsburgh passing attack. Man, it was disgusting.
Well, so for me, like, when you look at Georgia Tech, like I told you, they don't have a good defense, right? Because you've seen what NC State did to them, right?
Yep.
Almost a 50 burger, right? Like, come on now, you can't do that, right? And then you get behind and you're taking what Haynes King does well, right? He does well when he controls the ball, when he runs a lot, right? When he's basically the orchestrator of the offense, right? It's almost like Diego Pavia in a sense, right? Once you make him pass, you got a whole different quarterback, right? But when you take that running away, when he can run, should I say, it's a whole different ball game. He looks like the Heisman winner that he should have been, right? But I did caution people. I was like, look, man, Pitt is on a mission to do something. I don't know what it is, but they're on a mission to do
They're
something.
rolling with some momentum, especially in the last month or so.
Yeah, and all you gotta do is listen to the coach. The coach somebody asked him about the Notre Dame game, and he was like, that has no merit for us because they're not in our conference, right? And you would think, like, man, that sucks. Why your team not ready for that game? But it's true. They fighting for a conference championship, and they got a really, really good opportunity to get there.
With that win, like, it's about to be chaos in the ACC now because you don't know what's going to happen.
And with the rule changes of the college football playoff, it's not the highest ranked conference champ, something like that.
It's not as black or white as it was before.
Yeah, so the ACC could actually miss out on the playoff, and it could be 2 group of 5 teams in there.
That would be cool. Because the way it's shaking right now.
Yeah, if nobody
Texas Tech's at 6. So
yeah, so and you got 2 options, honestly, that could make that happen. You got North Texas and you got James Madison. So 2 options that could make the playoffs. right? So that
Dude.
that I understand your overreaction there. So for me, it's the Bama fans that I call like family, right? A lot of people's like, oh man, we good after the Oklahoma loss. I'm like, don't let this little win distract you from the fact that we got to go to the Voodoo House next week.
Mm-hmm.
All right, and I don't like it. I hate that place. Even putting the picture on here, I didn't like looking at it. I was like, yo, I gotta put something on here, man. So, like, I don't like that place. So my overreaction is basically a super overreaction. Like, yo, let's not lose focus now because Auburn got what another coach now. We didn't even look good when Cadillac Williams was the interim, right? Like, so like now we got another guy who actually is did DJ Durkin win a national title with Michigan as a defense coordinator?
Let me check that. Just
I don't know.
Let's see.
But anyway, while he's checking that, DJ Durkin is a beast at defense, right? Auburn's defense hadn't been the problem all year. They've been good. It's just offensively, they just been inept. They went from one quarterback to another one, and now Deuce Knight is playing, right? This is your 5-star recruit, so he looked really good. So, and I don't like running quarterbacks as a Bama fan. Okay, Johnny Manziel, Deshaun Watson, they all were really.
He doesn't have one.
So yeah, but that's my overreaction, man. But don't lose sight of the Voodoo House. All right. The scary
Not the
place.
Voodoo House.
Yeah, I don't like it. I don't like it, man.
You wanna strike deep, just bring up kick six and it'll strike a chord.
Yeah, don't talk about that kick six, man. But that was payback from the football guys for what we did to Notre Dame. Okay, that's what that was. Like
I still can't get over. I remember Miami playing Notre Dame, and the whole what was the freaking example you made? It was the Catholics versus the what?
The convicts.
Yep.
Yeah, Catholics versus the convicts. Yep. And I was like, yo,
man, was so funny.
I'm like, Notre Dame got convicts too, man. That's not nice.
No, they ain't got them like Georgia.
Yeah,
they just had another one get locked up.
Yeah, but this is like I said, the AP top 25 is pretty much non-ballot right now because of college football playoff rankings. But if you're watching this, use this as a guide because most of the time it keeps the same type of feel, right? Your top doesn't change, and then everything else fluctuates after that, right? Depending on what happens, right? So, like I said, nothing too crazy, but like I said, North Texas and James Madison at 21 and 20 respectively is crazy for the ACC right now. All right, you got Miami in there, but they might get in depending on how they feel, right? But if North Texas wins the American, right, which is kind of looking like a possibility because they done put the whooping stick on a few teams, right? So if they feel like, hey, this team deserves to be in there as well, you could end up with a really bad problem, right? So Georgia Tech plummets, all right? They plummet. So it should be interesting because the ACC is kind of wide open, all right? Georgia Tech, I think, has 2 losses right now. Miami has 2 losses right now. Pitt, I think, has 2 losses right now. Virginia has 2 losses, but I think only 1 in conference.
Yep.
So they're the representative on one side. So
that would be so crazy. Imagine that'd be so
ugly.
Virginia in the playoff would be so ugly. That's some NCAA 14 stuff. Like, nah, that can't happen.
Bro, we talked so much stuff about Virginia before the season. Like Tony Elliott had to go. We talked about the Dabo Swinney assistants. They never do good, right?
Yeah,
so it's kind of like that was kind of our thing, right? And then they just decided to get it together. I don't know what happened. I just cautioned Virginia to not do the Mel Tucker thing, right?
Mm.
Just because you had a good season, don't give him
Don't-
this crazy extension with this crazy buyout, right? Don't
I
do
would,
that.
I would think there'd be a lot more of a positive situation than that one. There was a lot worse than just the money, bro.
Well, I mean, yeah, but before all of that
Yeah.
shenanigans
But
happened,
they drank the Kool-Aid too soon. Like you need to see some
yes,
longevity, some more
yes, they
consistent
did.
success.
So, Chanel, what is your biggest takeaway from the new top 25?
You know, it's very interesting. Like you said, there hasn't been major changes. I'm not going to lie, I was shocked that Georgia Tech was still ranked after that game yesterday. I was shocked. I mean, do I think that they should still be top 25? Absolutely, but I mean the way that the AP has been kind of ruthless with some of the rankings. I mean, we can even look at week 1, when Florida State beat Alabama and they dropped from 7 to 21. I mean, the AP has been ruthless, ruthless with these rankings. So that's why I'm a little shocked that they kept Georgia Tech in at 23. Now, I think what's really interesting though, and I talked about this with week 13's rankings, because when Texas A&M had that 28-point comeback,
I've
you
seen
know,
that.
yeah, I really was shocked. I do think now they should be number 3, but I truly, truly thought that Georgia was going to move up to number 3 and Texas A&M was going to drop to 4. I understand why they keep them at 3, because they're still one of the 3 teams that are currently undefeated. But I mean, that 28-point comeback, crazy comeback to have. But I mean, that great comeback to watch in the second half. But I mean, like that to me really made it look scary as far as how is Texas A&M actually going to perform, especially in the playoffs, especially if it remains like this, if the CFP rankings remain like this through the end of the season and Texas A&M ends up with a bye week, right? We saw last year how all those teams that had the bye weeks ended up getting basically beat up. I hate to put it like that, but they ended up losing really badly. So I mean, that there right there kind of made me a little worried about whether Texas A&M can really make it to the championship. But I mean, other than that, I don't really see an issue with this current rankings as of right now. I think this is pretty valid. I think this is pretty much how it should be. I think this week is really going to be telling, of what exactly is going to happen with these rankings. So I do think we're going to get some major shakeups this upcoming week.
So on the horizon, we talked about this last week. We said that Ohio State and Michigan going into that game, if Michigan wins out, it becomes a different ball game, right?
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
that's chaos. That's 2007 type chaos.
So Michigan takes care of business, right? And Ohio State does too. They beat I want to say Rutgers or something, right?
yes,
Non-factor, right? So you get into this situation where what happens if Michigan wins? Like, what happens there? Because I'm looking at it like, all right, Michigan's gonna take a crazy boost through the rankings, right?
Oh, that's top 5. They're probably top 5 with a win like that.
Oh, yeah.
So that's a crazy jump, right? Now Indiana, I think, finishes the season with Purdue or some shit. That's not even no game, all right? So we ain't even worried about that. But I kind of wanted to see Ohio State, Indiana, Big Ten championship game, like all the stakes, right? Kind of puts a damper on your parade a little bit. You got Indiana and Michigan, in the Big Ten title game, right?
You're not even talking about you're not even talking about Oregon.
That's right.
Oregon just got a really good win yesterday. Very good win yesterday.
So
that's a team that if they get them horses running, because they got 3 running backs. If they get those guys running, you're in freaking trouble. Nobody's talking about how good that team is. But no lie, I would be completely fine with Big Ten chaos. I want to see Michigan beat Ohio State, even though we got these guys in the comments that are obviously Michigan fans. let's hype the head up a little bit. Let's have
Don't
some
speak
chaos.
that into existence. I don't know, man.
Nah,
Hey,
I'm complete, but I will say, if they drop another one to them, like, dude, like you just can't get it. You can win it all, but you just can't win that game.
And I asked people in the comment box one day, I was like, so, after Ohio State won the national title, I was like, so, y'all still want to fire Ryan Day after winning the national title? Some people was like, yeah, because he can't beat Michigan. I was like, damn, it's that serious?
Dude,
Yes.
It's serious.
I was like, dang. So I was like, all right, well, I guess I feel the same way if we kept losing to Auburn and some shit. So I was like, I got it. I get it, man. But Chris says
they're in front of Tulane.
Yeah, they're in front.
Yeah,
but I mean, there's either way, it's winner take all.
All I'm gonna say is watch out for the Dukes, bro. The Dukes. Man. JMU is nice.
Man, I really, like I said, I'm really messing with North Texas, man.
Until Navy beats them.
You know how I feel about the spread offenses against anybody. Like, if you got the spread and you can spread it out, you can beat anybody because your fifth receiver is probably better than their fifth corner, no matter what you do, right? So I think that's a scary matchup for anybody. Now, I think if they get into the playoff, depth wins, right? Because it's about the Jimmy and the Joes, right? But if you're not used to being in a shootout, you could get beat. And that's a dangerous team for anybody. I like JMU. I just feel like if we're talking about who gives us the better matchups in the college football playoff, I'm thinking North Texas because they spread that shit out. Dude had 600 yards passing, man. That was crazy.
0-star quarterback.
Shoot, so was Cam Ward too.
Yeah, that's true.
He was a 0-star, man. Like I said, don't fall in love with them stars, people. They be lying. All right, so my other team is Mizzou. After Pribula got hurt against Vanderbilt, I knew it was kind of over for any type of college football playoff talk, any type of SEC title talk, because that's rough, right? So then you just focus on Ahmad Hardy, and then you can stop them, right? That's pretty much what happened here. I also think all of the Eli Drinkwitz to Penn State and Eli Drinkwitz to whatever big job out there, it's over, right? You needed to go into the offseason with a little bit more steam for somebody to take a chance on you, right? And the fact that even though it's an injury, you can't bounce back from it, it's kind of rough for a big name program to take a shot on you, right? Now, I will say it's not all out the window because once these coaches start getting poached and hired and stuff, and say you're LSU and you want Lane Kiffin and he's not available, you might enter into panic mode, and it's like, well, we just got to hire somebody, So hopefully they'll get to that point, but that's where a lot of teams are gonna go. They're gonna be like, oh my God, all of our candidates are gone. All right, we're gonna have to do what Auburn did and hire Brian Harsin, which was like
no.
Way down the list. All right,
that's a nightmare. Let's not.
He was like the 10th option for them. It was a report out there that said he was way down the list, right? So that's I say all that to say, the old Big 12 matchup ends the way it usually ended in the Big 12. Oklahoma beats us, right? But I want to put focus on Oklahoma's defense, all right? I don't know what they got over there, but to hold Alabama to like under 25, 24 or something like that, and then you hold Mizzou to 6, I think their defense is legit. What do you think, Chanel?
Their defense definitely is legit. I do think Oklahoma's the way people view Oklahoma was definitely almost deteriorating, especially after John Mateer went out, right, with that injury where he needed to go get surgery. And I think a lot of people kind of looked and said, "Oh, well, is Oklahoma legit?" And yeah, I mean, I think they're a very legit team. I think their defense, especially their pass defense, I think is really, really insane. Like you said, I mean, holding Missouri to 6, which look, I get it. I like Missouri too. I thought Mizzou was going to have a little bit of a chance, but I mean, hey, Oklahoma has that great pass defense, and we know how Missouri can get when they're on that roll. That I think Oklahoma's defense is definitely something that I think more people need to talk about. Of course, everybody wants to talk about Ohio State, and even Indiana, right? But I mean, Oklahoma's really up there with the defensive skills.
Yeah, and that's one thing we talk about on here, the Brent Venables effect. He had Oklahoma back in the day really good on defense, right? And when he left, they was ass, all right? And then he goes to Clemson, right? And they have their run of great defenses, right? And then he leaves, and now they're ass, right? So it doesn't surprise me that their defense is good, right? I just expected them to be a little bit better offensively, right? But it takes time, right? I think it was easy for Lincoln Riley to kind of come in there and keep the ball rolling after Stoops left because he was the offensive coordinator, right? He knew all of the tricks of the trade, right? Almost like Mike Leach in a sense, right? Mike Leach is a Stoops disciple. So you learn all the tricks in the trade, so we just gonna do that. We're just gonna outscore everybody, right? And it works to the beat of what, 3 Heisman winners, almost 4, right? Actually 4 if you count Caleb Williams at USC. So it works, right? So I just expect them to have a little bit more offensively, but I guess I say I'm a little bit scared of the fact that they don't have offense like that. And when you get into a shootout, I don't think they can beat anybody like that. Like, because the defense is good, so it doesn't really matter if that travels, right? But if you can't score in the playoffs and you have a shootout game, it could get ugly. So that's my concern. About you, Brandon?
Thought Missouri was going to put a little bit more of a fight. They were feeding Hardy early, and they were able to run the ball like on that first drive or two. It's just after that, you could just tell they couldn't sustain it. The offense for Oklahoma is very concerning. The defense is top tier, elite, top 3 to 5 best defense, if not top defense in the country. So that's going to keep you in any game regardless. But, man, you got to open up that playbook, or we got to shake things up a little bit, because if you get into the playoffs and you're having to try to score with like an Ohio State, like if you draw that one, you're going to have a really hard problem trying to keep up with them, because your defense is going to be on the field too much. They're going to get tired. They're going to go with big plays. That kills your confidence. That kills momentum. So that's definitely something I'd be concerned about. It's not that they don't have the freaking weapons to do it. They're loaded. They have really good talent, but that's a big problem for them going forward.
To your point, Brandon, this kind of kills this argument right here, man.
Yeah, but playoffs are different, bro. Like, you have to be able to score points. Like, I don't see them scoring like 17 in the playoffs and winning the way.
Like, that's
a problem. And Missouri's a good defense, but Missouri doesn't have defense like some of these other teams we see in the top 10, in my opinion, at least.
And then you get into a game with, like I said, North Texas, right? It's cool to like be in a nickel formation, right? A nickel defense, right? But when you spread that out to the dime,
someone's gonna get open. Someone's gonna be open at some point. Like, they're gonna fuss. And it's kind of like, to the same degree how we talk about Kiffin and Sarkisian, when they find a hole, or they know I can attack the middle, I can attack the outside. Ooh, they're suspect at safety. Like, they're gonna keep hitting that. So when you start keying in on that, you're gonna leave somebody else open, and they're gonna take advantage of that. So
I'm telling you, man.
So like that's definitely scary.
Somebody sees something, man. Like I said, and one thing that beats Venables' defense is a mobile quarterback, right? Because I think he was still in Oklahoma when Tebow got there, when Tebow got him in that championship game in like 08 or whatever. Tebow gave him some trouble, right? So that's the key. That's the key. Now, if you're like trying to run a pro style set or whatever, it's not going to work, right? Because there's too much chaos with his blitz packages. You can't account for everybody, right? Just when you think, oh, we got him, that guy drops back in the coverage and another guy comes in his place. So you gotta be able to hit him with the quick hitters, man. So like I said, it's what it is, man.
Give
like
them credit though, like those ranked wins. Like give them credit. Like I'm concerned for playoffs, but that's a pretty impressive resume. Like those ranked wins they have, like I give Brent Venables credit because I ain't gonna lie. I think me and you were both kind of really on the fence this year. The last couple of years, we're kind of like, man, you got to get it up offensively. You got to wake up offensively because we know you're gonna show up defensively. So I definitely give them credit where it's due in that department. But I do agree in the sense that I am concerned about them offensively going against some of those other top heavy teams too.
I would say Mateer, if Mateer would have, if he would have got under Lincoln Riley.
Oh, that's overrated. That's an easy Heisman.
Yeah, that's like 6,000 yards, bro. Easy. We throwing that shit somewhere. All right, so this ain't about Syracuse. They got the shit beat out of them.
They did, bro. Give them a credit. They did my dude dirty, bro.
I'm talking about Jordan Love. Hold up, man. Let's read that shit. 8 carries.
Jordan Love, Cam?
Huh?
You said Jordan Love?
Jeremiah, my bad. That's your cousin. My bad. Jeremiah Love, man. 8 carries, 171, and 3 tutties, right? So if anybody has a Heisman case, it's definitely Love, right?
Well, this year would be the trend. Every 5 years has been a running back win the Heisman since what, like the 50s or 60s, I want to say, something around that. Like
30s,
Archie Griffin.
The 30s.
That's what I'm saying.
The first Heisman winner from, I think he went to Chicago or something. Not a school anymore.
What he's been able to do game in and game out, and I am impressed with some of these quarterbacks, but I've seen chinks in the armor. He has none. He is unscathed. This dude is just bulldozing through any and everybody.
That's your top pick running back in the draft, man.
Oh, he's a top 10 pick. Someone's gonna take him top 10.
Yeah, you got to. You got to. Now, obviously, you don't want him to go to somewhere like the Giants because they'd be the same thing as Saquon Barkley, right? You don't want to do that. Don't want to do the Raiders right now with Ashton Genty, and he's like the best player, but that's all you got. So hopefully he goes to somewhere that's a little bit more established offensively. But Notre Dame's looking good, man. Oh shit!
Chris. Of course, here we go.
All right, Titans.
Oh, Chris.
I don't want to go there. Y'all still figuring it out on offense, Chris. Like that don't help y'all. Y'all need weapons on the outside first.
Yes.
Yeah, I ain't got nobody. That's no man's land.
Cam Ward just passed the ball like 50 times today.
I played with them yesterday in Madden, and that was a struggle. I had like 4 picks, dog. There was nobody to throw to.
They bad, bro. They bad. Like,
you need number one.
Know how hard it is to get the first pick again?
I think also too, the Titans need to strengthen up their O-line. I mean, the way that Cam Ward don't even have time to even set up, to even pass. I mean,
Mr. Caden Proctor.
Yeah, let Chris tell you, they were supposed to be real good on offensive line this year. Chris was saying that all offseason. They're good. We gave this. We spent money on this. We drafted this. We're gonna be good. I was like,
see what happened was. Let's see what's up.
That ain't it, bro. Like, you need other stuff. Y'all had the number 1 pick for a reason, bro. Like, it's a lot wrong with your team.
Needless to say, the offseason is going to be fun.
Yeah. So, but like I said, we just want to put this on here because Jeremiah Love is a beast. All right,
they did our dude at Syracuse dirty, Cam. They didn't have to do him that dirty, bro.
I think they really had to.
I
think they had to make a statement. I mean, there have been a lot of talks about whether Notre Dame was really a legit team. You know, people The Olympian banner. But I mean, a lot of people have been questioning Notre Dame and how strong of a team they were, especially given week 1 loss to Miami, week 2 loss to Texas A&M, right? Next ranked win was against Southern Cal, and that was by 10, right? So I mean, there was a question of, is Notre Dame as strong of a team as they are, or are they basically just kind of, to put it in colloquial terms, are people just glazing them, right? And I think they needed to put out this statement win to kind of show, yeah, we are a very strong team. This is the reason why we are a top 10 team in the country. So I do think that this was very this was a very necessary win, especially now, given how much disrespect there is to Notre Dame, especially now looking at the playoffs, coming up soon.
Man, Cam, how many gases do you think they did after this game? Did you see them doing gases after that other game? Oh
Man, look,
they still running.
nah, bro. At this point, this the kind of ass whooping that you just say, all right, y'all.
It's like, I'll take my look.
Yeah, I'll see y'all Monday. Y'all gonna let this one fester for a minute. Y'all got to think about this loss for a little bit. Because you can make them run, but that still ain't gonna help you the next game. You know what I'm saying?
Nope.
You lost, you literally got 70 put on you. Like, ain't no discipline for that. Let's just pack it up and we'll try again next week.
We just gonna act like that didn't happen.
Yeah, bro, that's the type of ass whooping that you can't. It's almost abuse if you run them at practice now, right? No, this ain't the one, man. This ain't the one. But I will say Syracuse was high for us coming into the season because we like the vibes from Fran Brown, and we like, his transfer quarterbacks have been hits, and they were till dude got hurt this year, right? So we'll see. But to your point, Chanel, this reminds me, like I told Brandon last week, Ohio State, 2014, the first playoffs, right? They were outside looking in. TCU and I want to say Baylor were in front of them, and they had that big win against Wisconsin in the Big Ten championship game. It's like, oh shit, they might be real good. And this is the kind of game you have to have. Even if it's a bad team, blow them out, make it look good. Believe it or not, the college football playoff is very fickle, and it's all about what you look like at the end, right?
You gotta look right at the right time.
Yeah. So this looks good. This is real good, and they beat Pitt pretty good last week, so it's starting to look really, really, really good
especially after Pitt beats Georgia Tech. That looks really good on your resume.
Yeah.
So they're just padding the belt. So
man, like I said, so that's a pretty big thing, man. So Notre Dame, man, playoff run again. They were just in that national championship last year. So we'll see.
I don't know about all that, but
nah.
Now Utah, like, what y'all doing?
So
why are we in a shootout with K-State?
So this is the Big 12.
This is the old school Big 12 we grew up with.
All right, no defense, none. We don't play that. You get 600 yards, I get 600 yards.
Look at the mirror. Look at the mirror between the quarterback and running backs. It's literally polar opposites. Quarterback throws for like 300. Running back runs for 100. Running back runs for 300. Other one throws for 100.
Yeah, that's nasty work. That's nasty work.
293 is crazy.
That's nasty. Dude had almost 300 yards rushing, dog.
Dude, that's insane.
Like,
oh my god,
crazy.
Utah! I love Utah, but they suspect, bro. That's oh my god. Like, hey, I can see giving up. I can see giving up between 250 and 400 yards. That happens to anybody at some point. But to give up almost 300 to one guy on the ground is horrible. And you cannot do that.
He was cooking. He was cooking, dog.
And especially because Utah is supposed to have one of the best D lines in the country, So I mean, if you have a running back that's running almost 300 yards, it is looking a little suspect right
Hindsight is 2020. Like, golly, man, but I like Dampier,
but I will say though, for Kansas State to get up as much as they did in the first half, for them to, give up what 18 points the rest of the way, something happened in the locker room. That's
Oh, Kyle
that's a
Whittingham's
good
like,
adjustment.
nah, dude, we ain't going out like that. That is
Nah,
not happening.
yeah, no left.
You can cover your own fare.
Yeah, I mean, shit, they did to Lane Kiffin, fired him on the tarmac. You ain't getting on the plane with us. Sorry, you gotta go. Like what they say in Forrest Gump? You can't sit here.
Nope.
So yeah, but that's all right. That's why Lane Kiffin been beating everybody ass. Like
You're right.
it's
I like
bro.
Utah, man, but man, bro, that's not a good. And they're still kind of in the thick of things. Like the Big
Yeah.
12 is still like obviously Texas Tech is the one who's kind of pulled away a bit, but that spot for that number 2 spot in the championship game, like Utah's still in the thick of it, and that is not a good look for them. Like coming in like closer and closer to championship weekend.
Yeah, because I'm looking at BYU. BYU would be a rematch if the season ends today.
A
It would be
Holy War rematch? No, that's
no,
nice.
it would be a rematch of
Oh, you
Texas
between
Tech
Texas Tech?
and
Oh,
BYU.
give me the Red Raiders.
Yeah.
Yeah, so they need. I guess BYU would have to lose twice because they have the head-to-head over
I don't.
Utah.
Who's their last game? If you don't mind me asking, you have it pulled up? Because
UCF.
they should wax the floor with UCF.
Yeah,
BYU, like I know they took the loss to Texas Tech, but they're still really like I like them, but I don't think they beat them. If they get a rematch, I don't think they beat them.
and then Utah's got Kansas to end the season, so
that's
so
Kansas.
we know how that goes. Sorry. Let me see. Texas Tech has West Virginia.
Yeah, that was the game me and you were talking about. We were like, "Hey, Rich Rod, you think you're gonna get that last one?"
Yeah, because we was talking about it. We was like, "Hey, Rich Rod got this big win over Colorado," and I came in the show. I was like, "That might be the last wins he get of the season."
we like some Rich Rod, but I don't think it's gonna happen this year.
No, not this year, man. I tell you what, though, if Lenore Sellers leaves, bro, you gotta try to get him, man, because that's your Pat White at West Virginia. Like I said, Pat White was his main guru. All right, he knew how to run his offense. He could run. He could throw that thing. Like it was great. So his offense runs really good with a good mobile quarterback, right? So you got to get him one. I don't know who playing quarterback now, but that ain't it. Okay, so like I said, Utah gets the win here, man. Kansas State, man, weird season, but they got a chance to go a bowl game, right? That counts.
It started out the season really bad, so it's good to see they've kind of like at least gotten some resurgence because they started out the season horrible. Because they were ranked, weren't they? If they weren't ranked, yeah, they were ranked, and they took that big ugly loss in week 1, and it's the dominoes started falling down. I'm like, this ain't gonna be good, but they've definitely stepped it up as of late.
Man, when they bad, you know what they do? Hire Bill Snyder back. Then they be good again. I'm just saying, dog. He retired that first time, came back, they started winning again, then they sucked, and then he came back and they started winning again. And he's like, all right, man, fuck this. I'm done. Just put my name on the stadium.
Put my name on the stadium. I'm calling it a day.
Yeah, just put my name on the stadium. I'm good. I'm not doing this shit no more. Like, I better figure this shit out, man. I'm like 80. Leave me alone. I'm not fixing this shit again. So, but nonetheless, man, any final thoughts on Utah before we move on? Utah playoffs, Dampier. I like it. Nah, all right.
They're in the thick of things, but that's not a favorable matchup with them and Texas Tech. Like, if they were to win out and like get that chance, I don't think they have enough because they beat them already. Texas Tech beat them earlier, so it's like,
yeah,
they're just in a real good groove right now.
Yeah, I want to see Jacob Rodriguez get the Heisman, man. That'd be like, defensive players. That'd be like defensive players, man. All right, so the resident beatdown of the weekend, okay? So the beatdown I didn't see coming, all right? Now, last week, gotta reference this, all right? I said that Haynes King has the best opportunity to win the Heisman, all right? You got Pitt, You got Georgia next week, and you got the ACC title game. Well, he must have been thinking about that because it didn't work. All right. So this is completely over with. I don't know what they can do at this point, right? Because they at 16. Well, they're 20 now. So they might be out of the college football playoff as far as we know. But as far as the Heisman, man, you scratch him off the list. That ain't happening, right? So, Chanel, what do you think about Pitt first? Pitt,
You know, Pitt definitely, for one, this was a great win from Pitt. I think definitely, especially given the beatdown that they had the week before against Notre Dame, I think people started to kind of look away from them, right? Just say, it almost like it was fun while it lasted, right? But now this statement win against Georgia Tech, I mean, look, they started out the season, right, pretty decent, right? They were pretty good, but I really do think that within the last month, it truly, like we said before, that was truly like Pitt is a serious team. Like, this was truly, truly a serious team. And it's funny because even though Notre Dame did beat down Pitt, like we were talking about beforehand, the coach was kind of like, well, I mean, we don't really care about this win either way, right? So it almost kind of gave the impression that they didn't really take that game seriously. But I think here, they really were. I think their aim right now is we want to go to the ACC championship. We don't care if we got to play Miami. We don't care if we got to play Virginia. We don't care if we got to play Georgia Tech again. We are going to the ACC championship, and that looks like this right now. What it's really shocking is having a quarterback throw for 230 yards and then your running back run for 200 yards.
They blew their back out.
Yeah, I mean, that is crazy, especially given that, yes, Georgia Tech does not have a good pass defense, but I do feel that they have a relatively decent rushing defense. But I mean, that defense got completely destroyed in this game. I mean, I looked at that and I just said, okay, never mind. What I thought, the little hope I had about Georgia Tech's defense, out the window, completely out the window. They truly got exposed. And I do think that Pitt could honestly, especially if they win the ACC championship, I know it's a little early, but if they do well, I think they do have a really good shot, of making the college football players, because this was such a great win to put on the resume, especially now late in the season.
Man, Cam, like
you didn't tell us anything. I told you their defense was ass when NC
that's why we emphasized how good their offense was. But I'm gonna piggyback on your point. This was the game that Haynes King had to really ball on, not just from a Heisman perspective, but when you look at a game like this and you get ran on like that, those turnovers are very, very costly. Now, he hasn't really been much of a turnover guy this year. Very seldom. He hasn't turned the ball over a whole lot. But, man, this game, 2 interceptions, that probably cost you this game, along with obviously getting ran on for 200 yards. Like, this was a game you had to play flawless, especially to keep your slate clean for the most part, obviously outside the NC State loss, and to keep you in projection of being able to make the title game. Now I'm pissed off because I feel like I was good for picking them to get to the ACC title game. Now I feel you kind of dropped the ball on me. I know the defense was suspect, but man, bro, I could have done without those 2 interceptions, man, because the completion percentage isn't bad. Ran for almost 100 yards and a touchdown, threw for 250 and 2 touchdowns. So it's like, man, those turnovers are just very, very costly. And it's probably going to come back to bite them because I just feel like they kind of kicked themselves out of, the possible college football playoff berth, because I was already kind of shaky about them going into Georgia, but now I'm really kind of like, ooh, and now Georgia's like in a real groove right now where they actually have an identity and they're not one-dimensional offense and Gunnar Stock that actually looks like he knows what he's doing. That's scary.
That's their only shot to make the playoffs at this point is to beat Georgia.
They have to win that game, yeah.
Yeah, that's the only way, because that's a big win.
They're a top 5 team.
Yeah, that gets you in as a at-large bid, but not get no bye or nothing. So Pittsburgh has their path to the playoffs starts next week. All right. Like whatever their ranking, they have to beat Miami next week because that's the top dog in the ACC right now. I'm sorry, Chanel. But this is how this story is working right now. All right. So
Mhm.
Miami's the top dog in the playoffs right now, as far as the ACC is concerned, right?
Mhm.
So this may not be good for the ACC, but it'd be good for Pitt. So I don't know. The ACC really needs Miami to win this game. They
Yes.
really do. Just to get
And
into the playoffs. We ain't even talking ACC title. We just talk about playoffs, right?
Playoffs.
Yeah, playoffs. You kidding me? Yeah. But yeah, because the ACC really needs Miami to win. All right. Because Pittsburgh's gotta win out to get a higher ranking, right?
They need that tiebreaker to, like Chris just said here. You need Virginia or SMU to lose because there's like a 3-way tie right now. So you need one of those teams to slip up. So the ACC is definitely interesting, but I don't know.
Man, it's crazy out here, bro. Like I didn't see the ACC being like this.
Well, but we had Houdini on their ACC guys, and they're going on a spill, and me and you're like, yeah, the ACC's all right. You know, it's all right. Like they can get a team in there. Now I'm like, wow. Like a month or so later, it's like, okay, well now things done got really spicy.
Yeah, this shit is crazy. Like you got Virginia, Pittsburgh, and SMU all with one conference loss. Then Miami is your top dog. They got the highest ranking in the college football playoff, and they got 2 conference losses. Then your front runner, Georgia Tech, done dropped 2 games in conference, big losses. So like this is crazy, man. And then there's Boston College down there somewhere. I'm sorry, man. Bill O'Brien, man, you gotta go somewhere, man. I'm sorry. Like NFL guys coming back to college, man, is
he can come be an offensive assistant. He's not calling the plays.
All right, so this ain't really important for real, but I wanted to talk about something. So when Penn State fired James Franklin, right? You probably should have been asking the question, man. Not how bad Penn State was at the time, but how good Northwestern is. Northwestern took Michigan to a close game, right? And then Minnesota was one of your highest, if you watch wrestling, they're one of your highest mid-card wrestlers, right? You know, they're not really going to get into the main event scene, but they'll give you a nice fight every once in a while, right? So that's kind of what Minnesota is, right? And for Northwestern to get this win, man, I feel like Penn State made a mistake there, man, because Northwestern's pretty good, it seems. They won a few games. They going to a bowl game, right? I get that James Franklin wasn't winning the big game, man. But I felt like he had enough equity built up. Like, you should let him at least try to fix it, right?
Nah, I think not with a big brand like that over so long.
Yeah, I also think too, just the fact that they gave UCLA their first win of the season. I think that was truly
because nobody's seen that coming at all.
You right on that one. You right, because I was like, yo,
that was the nail in the coffin.
Yeah, because Terry was in the group chat. He was like, yeah, man, you UCLA, we on this thing, bro. I'm like,
and we're like, wait, who are you playing? Like, who you playing? I remember going out to eat and I look up, I'm like, that ain't supposed to happen like that. Where that came from?
I was like, yo,
this is like 2011. Like, what's going on?
Man, he was talking mad shit in the group chat, bro. And we like, what are you talking about? Y'all playing Rutgers or something? Like, no, he's like, man, we playing Pitt State. I was like, oh, you got the right to talk shit today. Because that was a big game. But like I said, Northwestern, man, crazy.
Surprised Minnesota gave up
that
much.
Because what, last year or the year before, they fired their coach like in the 2 weeks out from the season being started.
That was almost 3 years ago now. Because I remember we were still like right after we started. I remember that.
Yeah, so like I said, for them to be, bowl eligible is really cool. All right. Because they moved to play their games at Wrigley Field now, which is a great sight now to see. So they doing some big things over there.
You got our show favorite team on the show tonight, Cam?
Nah, bro.
No, you ain't got them on there. Nah. Oh no Hawaii love, man.
No, man, because they fucked up and they lost to UNLV. Like, no, you don't do that shit. No. UNLV is below y'all.
We like Hawaii. We've been pushing for Hawaii to be in the Mountain West title game, and they freaking dropped the ball. And we've been pretty upset.
San Jose State, by the way, like yo,
Yeah.
we was talking mad shit. We was like, man, San Jose State, man, that's who you use on NCAA football, man. When you want to rebuild the right way, man, they ain't shit. And
we
then,
thought they were. We thought we were gonna get the.
Man, dog, they put 600 yards. Like they must have saw our show or something.
Man, they were like, oh no, y'all like Hawaii too much. Nope.
Yeah, oh yeah, we gonna show y'all, man. Like, dog. Oh my god, that was nasty, man. I was like, dude.
I figured I would just ask, but
Yeah, nah, not this week, man.
Didn't broke our hearts, bro.
We ain't even gonna get a chance to drop no dimes for our guests, man, because the Colts lost today. So, like I said, man. But like I said, this is probably your group of 5 representatives. I'm going to bring it into existence. North Texas ain't been good since Mean Joe Green was there, and that was let me check my watch. Long time ago. So, so this is your representative. I mean, the quarterback is crazy. They still ain't got Hawkins no picture, and he been balling out all season. ESPN, get that together, all right? So, I'm just saying, bro. How many times we put North Texas on here, bro? And he had like 200 yards one game, and he still ain't got no picture. I was like, yo, disrespectful, bro. But anyway, that's the current state of ESPN. That's why we create content now, because they suck. Okay. So anyway, but North Texas quarterback continues to ball out, man. If there was a group of 5 Heisman, he would probably get that shit.
All I'm gonna say is, if you throw him in the Big 12 on a team like Texas Tech, he's gonna win the Heisman. He is gonna ball out. Like, he is a ball.
Yeah, man. I would, man. I mean, he could look. I hate the transfer portal takes away great stories sometimes, but it also creates great stories, right? So here you got this 0-star guy, balls out, and now he might be one of the most highly sought after transfer candidates ever, should he want to leave, right? He fits in any system. All you got to do is give him the weapons, right? You go to a bigger school, most likely you're going to have some weapons to go with, right? So I don't know particularly how much eligibility he has left, but if you got 1-2 years, man, I'd take it. Go ahead and go to another school, man. I mean, Cam Ward did it. So if anybody comes from these small schools, you need to follow that Cam Ward type of journey, right? Go to a school. Don't just go like Salter did from Liberty to Colorado, right? Go to Appalachian State.
Don't be like TJ Finley and jump around every year.
See, that's the outlier, bro. We didn't even talk about him, bro. He should have went pro after his season at Texas State. That was his best season, period. Like stat wise, right? You're 6'7". Did you say? Ew. Why would you do
that? I mean, it's not like Mike Gundy's there anymore. Like,
why would you do that though, Chris? Why would you go to Oklahoma State, man? No.
When you're in the playoff, like, if you're gonna go to a team you know you can take further. Like, why would you downgrade?
No, Chris, we ain't doing that. Oklahoma State is in full rebuild mode. All right. And technically, they probably should have did this the year before. But I give them credit. They gave Mike Gundy the opportunity to fix it, right? Because he earned it. He had been there so damn long. So yeah, man. But let's get into oh man. I mean,
that would be dumb in my opinion.
I love the loyalty, but I ain't with it.
Maybe y'all should go after him. Ooh. Maybe Vandy should go after him.
Oh shit.
You took her off, or
no? Disappeared.
I did that, and she was like up and.
I'm like, see, you on that voodoo stuff, man.
Go Auburn this week.
Yeah, man. Fuck them. Fuck them.
I hope she pops back on.
Yeah, man. Cool vibes. Cool vibes, man. Let's see. Come on.
On to the next one.
Yeah, on to the next one, man. Hopefully she pop back on there, man. All right, man. So just some brief thing. Let's talk about UConn, bro.
Bro, some people are watching this show for the first time. Like, I ain't watching this shit no more. You got a bunch of garbage time games over here.
I'm like, man, if you like ball, you gonna love this shit, man. UConn, man, is 9 wins back to back, bro.
Who's coaching them? It's not Jim. No, it's not Jim Mora still. No.
It is.
It's still, dude. Jim Mora, I love Jim Mora. I don't know what happened, but he didn't turn UConn around.
A round, man. So, like I said, some bullshit we just talked about. Like I said, some filler, but UConn definitely you gonna get some things. But this was a cool thing.
Oh, there we go.
Yeah,
now she's back. There we go.
All right, so sorry about that. I really don't know what happened. It just said, "Oh, you got kicked out of the internet." I'm like, no, please. So I don't know what happened, but apologies about that.
Like,
no, don't be. It's okay.
And I ain't touched nothing.
No, we both look at each other like, "Oh, that ain't good."
Like, damn, I ain't touched nothing this time. Usually, I might press like buttons trying to figure out something, but I ain't do it this time. I promise. All right. So UConn, Florida Atlantic, nothing really to talk about here, but mostly UConn because this is back-to-back 9 wins for them. Question for you, Chanel: do you think Jim Mora gets a look at a big job again?
I don't.
That wasn't convincing.
You know, I think Jim could. I really do. Like I'm gonna be fair. You know, I really do think he could. Now do I see him being at like a P4 type of school? No. But do I see him being at, let's say, for example, maybe like a Mountain West school or maybe like a Big 12, not a Big 12, but my apologies, like a Big East type of school, like maybe there, yeah, but I don't, not a P4 school. I think
Okay,
that's
so like Colorado State.
Basically, yeah.
Man, if you ask Terry said he'd take him back to UCLA.
Oh.
And they ran him out of town.
Look, anything's better than Deshaun Foster. I don't know what the fuck that was. I was like, yo, I ain't heard about this dude since like Super Bowl 38. Like, they know you coaching. Like, I was like, damn, okay, that's cool. But like his media day, I was like, that shit ain't gonna work. I don't even feel hype about UCLA football. He was just like,
they shouldn't have made the jump.
They
I get why they did, but like I wouldn't have. And now they're not even playing their games at the Coliseum anymore. So it's like, well, that's trash. Like now you're gonna play it so far. Nobody. Yes, they're playing so far now.
Yeah.
What?
That's dumb.
They
it's
don't
dumb.
play in the Rose Bowl no more.
I think it's because of one. It's actually closer. Like you wouldn't think, but SoFi is actually closer to UCLA than the Coliseum is. But I'm like, okay, cool, but like nobody's coming to. So y'all only putting like 50 people in the seats of the Coliseum. Like how many you're gonna put in SoFi? Like I'm just.
That's crazy, bro.
Yeah, that happened like 2 weeks ago. I think they had announced that they're not going there no more.
Yeah, that starting next season. Yeah, that's really terrible. Because I love
UNLV. They playing at Allegiant now after this season. So I'm like, that's nasty. Ew, that's just like speaking of schools that play in like the pro stadium. I was thinking about Miami, like. Them playing at Hard Rock was just so stupid.
Trash. It's dumb. I liked when they played.
You telling me all the national titles they done won, and you can't just build a new stadium, right? You got hella NFL players that have put money into the pot to build a stadium on campus. Like you losing that mystique of Miami, man.
Why would you want to play with the Dolphins there? The Dolphins are freaking trash. Like why don't you have like your own?
And on top of that, too, a lot of us live in that Coral Gables area, like near the university. So it's like a 45-minute to an hour drive, depending on when you leave.
To go to Hard Rock?
Yeah, to go to Hard Rock.
That just doesn't even make any sense. Like, it just doesn't fit. Like, it's just, like, gross. Like San Diego Chargers, LA Chargers. Like, that's just gross. Like, what are we doing?
That was disgusting, bro. Like I said, you already know how I feel about it. We
talk about it every week.
My Rams, man, they left to go back to LA. I was like, why the fuck would you do that? That makes no fucking sense. Like, why would you do that? But I saw the writing on the wall, though, when everybody else kept getting a new stadium because around that time, I think
They're like, no.
yeah, bro, everybody kept getting a new stadium, bro. You had Philly, you had Detroit get a new one. Houston had just became a team in 02, so they got a new
Yep,
one.
they had Reliant at the time. Yeah,
Who else got a new one, man? Everybody. The Cowboys built a new one. The Colts built a new one. I was like, and we still in this motherfucker? I don't know, man. And then the report came out that the league gave them like 10 years to build a new stadium. And that was in 05. And around 2015, I was like, we ain't built no new stadium yet. I don't think we gonna be here much longer. I was like, and that's what happened, dog. Man, motherfuckers, like at first, like when I guess they had the owners meeting, and at first it was leaning towards them staying, and I was like, all right, cool. But then they had another meeting after that, and then that's when it was the vote was majority, like, hey, move them out the way. I was like, damn, what happened, bro? Who said they got money and they don't have no money? Somebody went in there and said, hey, I ain't got to put up no money. I got all my money. Like, you ain't got to worry about that. And it's like, okay, yeah. You know, the Steelers owner was like, I ain't got to pay nothing. Yeah.
The Rooney's like, nope.
Like, I was like, damn, man. Fuck me up, man. But anyway, we got to talk about the Voodoo House, man. Alabama is going to Jordan Hare this weekend. We're gonna pick some games. This is our pick part. So this is crazy. All right, I figured we'd have it. Hey man, Chris, you're gonna get banned. Don't start this shit. Don't start this, man. Yes, I know he's a problem, Chris. I do.
Dude, that's scary.
That's scary. All right. So you know I'm picking. It's all about Alabama, man. It's one of my favorite games, right? Aside from being like a place I don't like to be, it's one of my favorite games because it's always up in the air, man. No matter how good Alabama is, no matter how bad Auburn is, this shit is usually close for a while. All right. And if it gets to the second half and Auburn's up by 3 or only down by 3, there's something about it, man. When they get them toilet paper rolls out, it's crazy. Right? So y'all be nice. Who y'all got in this
one? Ladies first.
Yeah. I mean, I agree. I think this is going to be a really close game. I think this is going to be actually a lot closer than what people expect for it to be, especially with Alabama being a top 10 team, right? But I mean, I do think Alabama's going to win, but I do think they're going to win actually by one possession. Now, who I think is going to be the big question mark in this game is actually Ryan Williams. I think a lot of people really expected a lot out of him this season, and he's been very lackluster. I'm sorry,
Mr. Butterfingers himself.
I'm sorry. He's kind of
bro. He didn't stop eating popcorn before the game.
That's Bruce. Y'all got Brucey out there.
Oh man, I never get to play.
You know, I think, we're going to see Ty Simpson rely a lot on players such as like Jeremy Bernard, who's been doing really well, been very reliable, right? But I mean, if Ryan Williams can get it together and can get it going this game, I do think that Alabama could actually, pull away from Auburn, especially with that defense. But if he's still questionable, he still has that lackluster performance, basically fumbling the ball, ball going through his fingertips. I mean, this is going to be a close game. So I will say Alabama is going to win, but I would say that they're going to win by no more than 7. I give it a one possession game. I think it's going to be really close.
My heart can't take another close game, bro. Can't do this.
Man, look, I've said
Don't you do this to me, Brandon.
So I've said this on numerous occasions this year. The scariest team is a team that has absolutely nothing to lose. Yeah. Auburn fired their coach. This is their Super Bowl, okay? This is every single time. We thought that this would be a game like that this year because of what Hugh Freeze had been building. Kind of felt like they shouldn't have fired him, just me personally. I kind of feel like you should have gave him at least one more year because of what he had been doing. Yeah. But, man, I want to pick Auburn, but one, I don't want to piss you off. Two is like, man, I just don't know because I like Deuce Knight. I like Deuce Knight a lot.
Yeah,
but I don't know what he does against Bama's defense. I think Bama's got a good defense, But I mean, a team that's rejuvenated and wants to ruin y'all season, which would definitely throw a monkey wrench into what y'all got going on. I think Alabama shakes back. This is a must-win game. You cannot lose this game. There is no excuse for you to get slopped. No, I think you fix your issues you had against obviously Oklahoma last week. Yeah, give me Alabama.
And to Chanel's point, though, Ryan Williams has been very disappointing.
Butterfingers, dog. That's trash.
And think about it. He was on the cover of the new college football.
Oh, that's what I was about to tell you. Do you think there's a college football curse now instead of the Madden curse?
Bro. I think so. Because
Jeremiah Smith's been playing good though.
Hey, that it don't matter. Remember what they did to two people on Madden? One person got hurt and the other one went the fuck off, right? So it don't matter. Somebody gonna get this curse. You want it? Who want it? You know what I'm saying? So like that's my whole thing, man. Like, dude just been off his kilter, man, all season. Like just dropping passes, man.
No, he have a really good game, and then he turned around and dropped like 8 passes.
Yeah,
and it'd be like in dramatic fashion. Like I'm not talking about just like a simple like slant drop. I'm talking about like high pressure situation. You have the ball in your hands, and you just like, zoop. Oops, my bad.
Yeah, man. Like it's been bad, dog. Like, and that's kind of like almost made our offense kind of like stagnant at times, right?
Because you had to find another guy that was going to step up like that.
But I say this to move on after this. I expect a different running back group in this game, right? We've seen AK Deer. He played in the ULM game, kind of spot time or whatever. But we need a kick in the pants at running back, right? We got too many of the same guy, right? I don't know if you remember what's his name? The guy from USC who was with Reggie Bush, Lindell White. There we go.
Yeah.
We got a lot of those guys, right? And we need a Reggie Bush, right?
Mm-hmm.
Put the Reggie Bush in there, man. All right, just see what he can do. I mean, just the fact that he's a different change of pace might help us a little bit run the ball, right? And that's what needs to happen, man. And I think we might do that in this game because in a rivalry game, all stops are off. All right, we gotta win the game. All right, that's all that matters. I don't care about eligibility. I don't care about red shirts. None of that shit.
That would be a real stinker though. Y'all to lose the game this year. And then Hugh Freeze name in the coach no more. Like, you know how trash that would be?
That's the shit that happens in this game, bro. Like, it just does. Nobody expected them to do a kick six, man. They don't end no game on no kick six, man. We was about to go for a three-peat. And I know damn well we would have beat Jameis Winston in Florida State that year. I know we would have. Because we had too much. They had a lot of talent too. Don't get me wrong. But I knew we would have had a good game against them, man. Like, but Auburn went, man, and fuck them.
I mean, if Auburn wins this game, I mean, that's going to put a monkey wrench onto the entire playoff rankings. I mean, that's going to...
And recruiting, too, though, dude. People are like, oh, shit, Auburn could be Bama without Hugh Freeze. Yeah, I want to go over there.
Yeah, and
they were already getting guys.
Yeah, and DJ Durkin, right? This is kind of his redemption arc from that Maryland run, right? When that player died under his watch. He's been trying to get back into it, right? And this might be a way for him to get either the Auburn job, because they don't know who they want. They want John Summerall or what's his name? John Summerall, is that his name? From Tulane. Mm-hmm. They want him, but I don't know. Like, and Chris saying that too. I don't know, dog. I mean, if DJ Durkin wins this game, bro, you gotta seriously give him a look, man. He earned it. He earned it, man. So, and like I said, they've been in some close games, and it seems like he got some stuff going on, man. So he earned the right to get an interview. Not saying he's gonna get it or whatever. All right, so a game that has kind of lost its luster just a tad, with Georgia Tech dropping their game this weekend. But nonetheless, they go to Mercedes-Benz Stadium to play this game. It's gonna be fun. All right, Georgia's like second home, right? They always in this motherfucker. Yeah. Like Chick-fil-A kickoff games, SEC championship game, they always in there, all right? So this should be awesome, man. But I do think Georgia is about to beat the brakes off of them. All right. Like it's about to be nasty. All right. This will be nasty. Now, had Georgia Tech won that game this weekend, I'd be like,
had they not lost either one of those games, I'd feel a lot better about that.
But you got a problem on defense, bro. And Georgia, if you just gave up like 200 yards to that running back, Georgia got like 3 dudes that can do that. This could be nasty.
You know what's really interesting though was that if we remember last season, right? Georgia, everyone expected for Georgia to beat Georgia Tech, and Georgia Tech took them to 8 overtimes. Right. And so I think see Georgia is going to, I didn't see that comment. I didn't read what Chris said.
My bad.
We get them. Yeah, I do think Georgia is going to win, but I mean, I don't think all hope is lost with Georgia Tech, to be honest. I really do like Gunnar Stockton. I liked him last season, right? When Carson Beck was out, and Georgia had no choice but to put Gunnar in. I really did like him, but I mean, I don't think Georgia is going to beat the brakes out of Georgia Tech the way people think it's going to be. And that's just my hot take. I think this is going to be another one like the Alabama-Auburn game where it's going to be a very, very close game. I do think everyone's going to have that memory from last season, right? And I'm not going to say that this is going to go into overtime because I don't think so, but I do think this is going to be a closer game than what people expect. That's at least my hot take for this one.
That's fair. Like I said, I think Georgia Tech's got to realize that this is kind of their season on the line right now.
Yeah.
Like you can't go to the ACC title game without crazy shit happening, right? Mm-hmm. And that might not be enough. And then this is your last chance against a good team to really hey, we belong in the playoffs, So
a real good team.
Yeah, this Georgia done did something. Like I told him last week, I told Brandon last week, Georgia plays better when their quarterback affects the game with his legs. All right. Mm-hmm. Like I told him, Stetson Bennett might have not been the flashy dude, man. But boy, them legs, when he got to chugging, it was gone. Like he pick up yards in bunches too. Like, yo, dude, slow down. What you doing? Nah, he ain't like that. And Gunnar Stockton got legs. All right. He got strong legs too. And I think he's a better overall passer than Stetson Bennett was too, right? So they started opening it up, man. It's not all run, the 1980s Georgia's. Like, let's run the toss sweep. We got Herschel. Let's run that thing. Nah, they be throwing that thing now, man. So Georgia Tech defense scares me though, man. That's just scary, man. Like, I don't know.
I think Haynes King balls out. I don't think they win, but I think he's still got a point to prove. I think they really want to win this game. Now, the likelihood of it, no. But the fact that they were able to take them to 8 overtimes last year and Haynes King's playing way better this year with more weapons, obviously a very suspect defense, I think they make things interesting. I definitely think he throws for at least 250 and runs for like $120. I definitely think he can do that. Like, I think he's going to make things interesting. And I think this game will probably go down to the wire until it's the third quarter. But I think Georgia has too much. I think they'll pull away at the end. But I think Georgia Tech definitely gives them a kind of a wake-up call. Be like, okay, we're really good, but we still need to continue to work what we're doing.
All right, no, that's fair. So we got some good games next week, man. Start with this one. All right, man. So the Big 12 action is back, baby. Oh my God. All right. So Texas got a little bit beat down against Georgia. All right, man. Georgia put the boomstick on them, right? So what kind of team are you really looking at? All right. So you got Arch Manning, right? All the hoopla he had coming into the season hasn't really materialized. Been hit or miss, some good games, some bad games, right? Then you got the fact that these pro Steve Sarkisian might be turning pro again, right? Those rumors are swirling around, right? And what kind of team you going to get? Because at times Texas has looked okay. They look real good. And then at times they look like, what are you doing? Right? Mississippi State game, right? What are you doing? What's going on here? This ain't supposed to happen, right? But Texas A&M has been one of those teams that's just been kind of solid all year. Like even when they've had close games at Notre Dame, they didn't flinch, right? 30-point comeback against South Carolina. Didn't flinch. They just been even killed, right? And that's a dangerous team, man. If they can beat you most different ways, right? That's a dangerous team, right? But this is the best team they're going to play, talent-wise. Like, Texas got dudes everywhere. They just haven't put it all together. Is this the game that Texas put it all together? I don't know. What do y'all think?
I mean, it's hard because, like you said, I mean, Arch Manning really has not been living up to the hype that I think a lot of people really expected, right? Of course, yes, we've seen the games where he'll throw for 300 yards and have 5 touchdowns, right? But those will be against teams that people will honestly say are not on the same competitive level as Texas, right? But then when you see them play, for example, Georgia or even someone like Mississippi State, who has shown that they're really not that bad of a team as far as the rest of FBS, maybe in the SEC, yeah, but I mean, as far as it compared to the rest of college football, I mean, like, no, they've shown that they're really not that bad. I mean, they have really shown that Texas can really be a hit and miss. It's like you said, which Texas are we going to see? Now, Texas A&M, I think is going to be really interesting because Marcel Reed has really not been the most efficient quarterback. I mean, his completion percentage is at what, 65%. And we got to remember too that Texas is has one of the best defensive teams in the country, right? Despite their rankings right now, they still have one of the best defensive teams. So I do think that this will be more of a defensive team for Texas and an offensive team. And I think that's where Texas A&M is going to have their struggles, right? Especially with Marcel Reed. Hopefully he doesn't have those wild passes where he's just rushing it like what we've seen before, and especially against South Carolina. But I mean, it's just up to the offense. Is Arch Manning going to be able to put it together? And I think this is going to be a game where Texas is going to give Texas A&M a little bit of struggle, but I do think Texas A&M is going to come out on top. I do think they are going to pull away with the win just because of Marcel Reed, how consistently solid he's been. Like I said, not the best as far as especially like completion percentage, but as far as like the offensive weapons that are available, I do think that that's just going to overload Texas so much. But I do think this is going to be a really, really good game.
Texas are frauds. Let's just be completely honest here. They're frauds. You have too much freaking talent to be frauds like that. And I've seen Texas against really good quarterbacks this year, and they've been trash. Julian Sayin, beat them. Freaking Gunnar Stockton, beat them. Marcel Reed can do more than both of those guys, especially with his freaking talent level on defense. I mean, not on defense, and running the ball. A&M is going to impose their will on them. Like, defensively, like LSU had as many talented players on defense as Texas did, and they imposed their will on them. I fully expect Texas A&M to out-physical them, and I don't think Arch is going to have a game like he had yesterday by any means. I think A&M brings him back down to reality. I see A&M winning this one by at least 14. Easy. I think A&M is just that good, and them being tested in those games like they've been tested, it's gotten them ready for a game like this because this is a trap game. In all actuality, it's a trap game for A&M. I just think they are really on a mission, and they're way more physical, and they're just better.
So I'm gonna go Texas in this one. I'm gonna be different. I'm gonna go Texas in this one. But I'm going Texas in this one just because of the fact that they have a lot of talent. All right, they got way too much, as you said, Brandon. And this is more than just it's more than just a football game, right? This is a rivalry that been kind of dormant for a long time, right? You go back to the Big 12, Texas and Texas A&M have some wars, man. Usually won by Texas, man, but when Texas A&M would get them, they had teams like this, right? But for Texas, your season's kind of a wash at this point. You don't really have a shot to the playoffs, right? Unless you beat them, then you make it interesting. But your season's a wash. You got so much stuff going on. Why not just put your best performance out there, right? Because I'm pretty sure Sark is telling them that we still got a lot to fight for, right? We beat them, our chances of moving up are really good, all right? And we're Texas. So the brand carries a lot of weight. And if it's close between James Madison or Texas, you know who's getting the nod, right? For that last spot. It just works like that. Texas brings eyes to it, right? I love James Madison, but that's the way the cookie crumbles sometimes. So I feel like Texas is going to put out their best effort, man, in this game, and they might look better than they have been. And we've seen how that looks. It looks really good. And then the next week they crap the bed, right? But in this particular game, if you win this one, this is a big one. It's a big one, man, because Texas A&M is rolling, and nobody gets through the SEC undefeated nowadays, right? It's been a long time since somebody has done that, right? So somebody got to stop them. I'm going Texas to this one, man. So, but it's gonna be fun, man. I love old rivalries like this, man. Like that's why I was happy when they joined. I was like, it gotta be cool. So we gotta talk about Vandy Chris's team, all right? The Vanderbilt Commodores, all right? They going to Tennessee, man. Tennessee's got a big ass stadium, bro. It's like 120,000 in there, all right? I'm going Tennessee in this one, man. You know what? Scratch that. You know what, Chris? I'm bite.
Cam, I think we have to pick Vandy because we drank the Kool-Aid last week that we drank the Kentucky Kool-Aid and thought Kentucky was really gonna I think we kind of owe it to Vandy on this one.
Yeah, you're right. You're right. I scratched that. I'm picking Vandy. Diego Pavia. He's all right, man. He's all right. He's got some Tebow in him, man. And I like that. I like quarterbacks that got a grit to them, man, and just run the ball with a little bit of force, man. Like, you ain't stopping me on 4th and 1. I'm about to take me somebody with me. And I like it. I like the way he plays, man. And I think Tennessee's defense has been really ass all year. All right. Like, they've been bad. Like not uncharacteristically bad. Usually they got some athletes to make up for the deficiencies. Not this year. They've been really bad. And when you're dealing with a team that plays keep away, you're in trouble. And for a team that likes to get more possessions in on offense, this is bad. So I'm going Vandy in this one.
Now, I agree. I do think Vanderbilt is going to win, but I mean, look, I still really like Aguilar, right? I think, Tennessee especially had to really go in and figure it out, especially what happened during the off season. And, I really like Aguilar. I mean, I think if he balls out the way, I don't know what happened, because he was balling out for the first couple of weeks and then just kind of completely fell off. But I mean, if he balls out in this game, I mean, I think Tennessee could really make this very, very interesting, especially with them being at home. But like you said, I do think Vanderbilt is going to win. I could see them honestly winning by like 14. But if Aguilar, like I said, does, ball out, throw for like 200, 250 yards, and I do think they can make it very, very interesting.
Tennessee can score quick. We say this every year, every week. But man, if Vandy starts playing Vandy ball, and they start draining that clock and putting pressure, how does Tennessee answer to that? Because when Vanderbilt plays their brand of offense they go down, they score. How do you answer that? How are you going to respond positively? You're going to go back down there and score like you normally do? I just think they're going to control this game. I think it'll be close, but I think Vanderbilt has they're on a mission. They still fighting for something. They've still got something to prove, and this is obviously a big time rivalry game. Where a game first time in a while, Vanderbilt's pretty favored in my opinion.
Yeah,
It's a pretty
been a
favorable situation. Yeah, give me Vandy.
All right, Vandy across the board. All right, cool. Only got a couple
We haven't
more.
think we were gonna pick that.
Yeah, we don't do Vandy after like last year. So I don't do Vandy like that after last year, man. Maybe so. Nothing really special for real. Both teams are kind of out of the playoff thing, but I love the fact that Arizona State still plays in Tempe. Right, they did move, so I love that part. And Arizona State's always one of those games that if you stay up late, it's usually kind of good. All right, more times than not. All right, and Arizona State got the same record, so somebody getting a better bowl game after this one. All right, so I'm actually gonna go Noah Fafita and the Wildcats in this one.
Give me Arizona State, man. I know Dillingham looks like he might be on the way out, but give me Arizona State.
He's on the way out, so you go leave it. So
Gotta go out on a good note.
All right.
Yeah, I think Arizona State's going to win this game. I do think that they looked especially really good against Texas Tech. I mean, that's the one team that was able to beat them all season. So, I mean, look, I like Arizona, right? But I mean, I think Arizona State, they're going to win. They're like, that's just that I think that's going to be a game where they're going to win by like at least 14. I do think it's not going to be a pretty game for Arizona. I will say that.
Hey, me and Chris finally agree on something.
Yep. I don't think he's coming to LSU, but
no, that's too much of a jump, man. That's too big of a jump. Yeah, you won the Big 12 last year and you had a good run in the playoffs last year, but bro, it's a different ball game, dog. And you gotta get some more as baseball players say, you gotta get some more dirt under your cleats, man, before we give you the keys to the Ferrari. Okay? You can't do that. We can't give you the keys to the Ferrari and you still driving a Honda. All right? Can't do it. Can't do it, man. So, like, I don't think so. He get an interview, right? But he should not be your first option. Like, that's all right. So we got the Egg Bowl. The Egg Bowl, right? So, all right. So hear me out, right? Hear me out. I'm doing something unprecedented here. Usually, I just kind of pick in a rivalry game. You pick the better team sometimes, right? But Mississippi State can score, all right?
And I don't know. Their record should be way better.
Yes, they have been up in games. They've been everything, just haven't closed, right? So, what better way to play a game that y'all play every year for the last 100-something years, right? What better way to kind of get your season feeling like a success, right? Than beating a team like Ole Miss right now. Look, Lane Kiffin can say what he wants, and it's not bothering me. It's just noise, bro. You about to be the highest paid coach in the country, bro.
Players are talking about that. We'd be stupid to think the players aren't talking about that and thinking about what are we playing for? Like, is he staying? Is he going?
Yeah,
and I just feel like the longer that extension or the idea of an extension sits on the table and you haven't jumped on it, that just leads me to believe that you're either leaving, which would be the first thing, or two, that you're trying to make leverage for us to pay you more. But I just feel like if you're not signing it, you're out. And I mean, me personally, if I was a player, I'd be like, well, if he still hasn't signed it and he's not immediately coming back, I think he's gone.
Chris has some good sources, but sometimes they be wrong. All right. So hear me out. All right, hear me out, Chris. You telling me Lane Kiffin has had these, he was the highest potential coach flat out when he first kind of branched out.
I don't think it's all about money for him either.
Yeah, but here's my thing though. Hear me out. So when he got the job with the Raiders, right? It was crazy, right? He's young, flashy, everything, and you get the keys to the Ferrari, basically, right? An old Ferrari, but nonetheless a Ferrari, right? So you got the keys to that, and you crashed and burned, bro. Not all his doing, but definitely was a crash and burn situation, right? So then you get the job at Tennessee or whatever, however that went, right? But you get that job, high profile, right? And then you have them going in the right direction. And Ogeron was on that staff. He said we was gonna be good, but we couldn't pass up on USC. That's the dream job. You was there as a coordinator, whatever, right? So then that misfires, and then you have off the field struggles as well, right? So you have to kind of bring yourself down, right? You offensive analyst for Alabama, change the whole thing around, update the Ferrari. Basically, now we got navigation system. You know what I'm saying? So there you go. You upgrade the Ferrari at Alabama, and now you kind of work your way up, man. This would be the perfect time to leave, right? You've taken Ole Miss where you could take them. All right, this is as far as you can take them. Ole Miss done had good teams, right? But they ain't never been able to punch through that ceiling, right? This is where they at, right? Recruiting wise, money wise, that's where they at. They've never been able to do that, right? That's cool, right? But if you take him and his journey through this whole thing, he's got to cash in, man. You had a couple big jobs, right? But you ain't never had the crown jewel, right? The crown jewel of the SEC is either the Alabama job or the LSU job. That's it. And now Texas, since they're in there, right? But those two of the blue bloods of the SEC, those are the crown jewel jobs, right? If you can win there, you can win anywhere, right? And they're gonna pay you a lot. And it's not like the number is a question at this point. How much do you want?
You can, right? But you just the reach you have. You can't get like all those athletes in Mississippi. Like you can reach out and grab other people, but like you don't have. And I don't want to go on a tangent, but if you're at LSU, you don't even have to leave the state. You could literally just recruit in the state. You have brand, you have money, you have boosters, you have everything. It only makes logical sense for you to cash out at this point. Like I get it. Maybe you want to stay for leverage, but I just don't think it's all about money for him. Like I think he wants to get a high. I think Sexton is going to try to get him a really high deal wherever he goes.
Yeah.
But I think Lane, wherever he goes or doesn't, he wants it to be his spot. Because if he has any aspirations of going back to the league, which I don't really see, then you really need to be able to be at established. Like I think Ole Miss, like they're gonna get to the playoffs. But now you're kind of in a spot where it's like, oh, well, now we have an ultimatum. Like, you need to let us know by the Egg Bowl or whatever. We don't know the full legitimacy of that. But if I'm Lane Kiffin, there's still another tier to go up. Ole Miss is not the same as like an LSU job. Dude, you have the opportunity to get paid the same amount and have way more help and way more everything else. It makes all the sense in the world. Like, it does. Yeah. But I think that affects this. I think that affects this game, too.
And you got a chance to stick it to Alabama too, man. Because if you go to LSU, remember, Alabama had a chance to hire him, and they chose to go a different route, right? Mm-hmm. Now, me personally, I was all on the Lane train. I was like, yo, let's get Lane, bro. He built this thing too, right? He done built it. I was like, you gotta get Lane in here, right? Now, Caleb DeBoer was cool. I was like, all right, kind of the hot name now, bro. But I was like, man, give me Lane, man. I know Lane. I don't know dude like that. So, like give me Lane.
And if you look at it from LSU's perspective, BK never embraced the culture. He wanted to do everything his way. Lane Kiffin will do everything his way, but he'll embrace, like, he will change the whole, like, he'll change everything. Like, not in a bad way, but, like, for the better. You see what he's done at Ole Miss with limited resources and money. You go to a place with everything you didn't have there, and you think the players aren't thinking about that and talking about that, and you don't think it's going to affect this game?
I say, all right, I'll pick my thing. I went on a tangent. Give me the Cowbells. Go on Mississippi State in this one, man. Too much going on. Ole Miss. I like State in this one.
I do like Mississippi State, you know, like I was saying beforehand, I think Mississippi State is a better team than what people give them credit for. What's really interesting about this whole Lane Kiffin, whether he's staying, whether he's leaving and stuff like that, it's interesting you bring up DeBoer because it really does remind me of Washington and Michigan. I mean, going to the national championship just for players to find out the very next day that their coach just kind of said, deuces, I'm going to Alabama. Right. And so I don't see Lane Kiffin really doing that. And it also really seems like Lane Kiffin really enjoys Mississippi. That's what it really, really feels like. So as much as LSU is offering, you know, the $90 million with the $25 million additional for recruiting purposes and NIL money, I just really wonder if Lane really, really likes Ole Miss. Like it seems like he really just enjoys coaching there. That almost like what we were talking about beforehand. It's really not about the money now, you know, because like I said, LSU is like creme de la creme. Not even just in the SEC, just in college football, period. Right?
Yeah.
Like that's a big brand. And I wonder if because of that, there's that added pressure, right? So we saw Brian Kelly, right? We all know that Brian Kelly was kind of just went in there, wanted to do what he wanted to do, but at the same time, though, I mean, that's a lot of pressure to put onto a coach. You know, that's a huge market when it comes to college football to put that on, because if Lane Kiffin goes there and let's say, for example, his first year, he doesn't have a winning record or LSU, you know, doesn't make some sort of statement, I mean, people will be on his neck immediately. Whereas Ole Miss, you don't have that same pressure. You know, it's great when you're ranked. It's great when you're top 10, right? But if you're not, then it's kind of like a, okay, right? Rather than an LSU or an Alabama or Georgia, right? Where if you're not ranked, I mean, people, like I said, are coming for your neck. Listen, I do think that Ole Miss is going to take this game. I'm going to be a little different. I think Ole Miss is going to take this game. I think the players have very much faith in the team, the same way Lane still has faith in this team too, right? I think he is going to take this all the way to the end, you know, and, you know, have his decision be made, you know, after their season is done, whether it is during the playoffs, whether it is after the national championship game, right? If Ole Miss goes all the way there, I do think he's going to take the team all the way there, and I don't think the players are going to be as affected. I do think that I really do like Ole Miss. I like Chambliss, and I think Ole Miss is actually gonna get this win.
So I'll pick Ole Miss to win this game because I just think they're a better team. But in regards to what we were talking about, I think it comes down to, do you want to win a national championship or do you just want to be comfortable? Because honestly and truthfully, I like what they have, but their team was better last year and they didn't even go anywhere. Yeah. I don't think they win at all. I think your ceiling at Ole Miss is playoffs and maybe a first round bye, best case scenario, but I just don't see them running to the table. I just think you can only take that team so far. And I think for Lane, it's like, do you just want to be where you're happy and comfortable, or do you want to be able to like really submit your legacy and win one? And I gotta imagine, because I feel like Cam could probably attest this, he wants to win. Like I think he's been kind of doubted, especially with all his struggles so early on, whether in the league or in college. I think he wants to really prove it to himself for one, but also prove the other guys wrong that, hey, I can win a national championship. And I'm just not sold that you can do that at Ole Miss. But if you want to be comfortable and just stay ranked and yada yada, then go right ahead. But I think if you really want the best chance for you to win a title, I think that's your choice.
No, that's fair. That's fair. All right, so we go on to our NFL stuff. We ran a little longer, man. So we're gonna take a quick commercial break. We'd love to get your thoughts on the NFL if that's cool with you.
Oh, yes, absolutely.
All right, cool. All right, we'll be right back. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. You know you like that song, Brandon. That's your shit. That's your shit, man. Nah, man. But welcome back to our favorite Mind Weekly show. We're here with Chanel for Ball Talk with Chanel. She is an up and coming content creator out here doing her thug thizzle. All right. So we're gonna get into some NFL stuff. All right. So like I said, we usually run through this kind of fast because this is the end of the show. So we usually go fast with this, man. But it's some interesting stuff that happened today that might set up some interesting playoff stuff. So the Bills are frauds, man. That's the first thing. They frauds, man. They are frauds. Um, Josh Allen shouldn't have got MVP last year. I'll die on that hill, man. But nonetheless, you had to get him something, all right? Because you can't beat Mahomes, right? See that? But nonetheless, man, the Bills take the loss to the Texans, man. The Texans got a good defense, bro. Like that defense is crazy good right now.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Will Anderson is killing it.
Yeah,
Yes.
Will Anderson is good, bro.
Yeah. That's why I kept trying to tell people. I was like, bro, y'all tripping. Y'all just gave them CJ Stroud and Will Anderson. Their rebuild is pretty much done right now. That's two really good pieces to pick up in the draft, man. So, but like I said, Texas are good. They really just need CJ Stroud to come back and be more efficient, man. That's
year
all.
one, CJ.
Yeah. So got to, man. But nonetheless, like I said, what y'all think about the Texans win?
You know, the defense really won this game more than
Yep.
the offense did. The defense absolutely won this game. And I mean, look, you know, I was looking at Davis Mills. I was like, look, I mean, the Bills got a couple of their defensive players back this game. I didn't think that he was going to have another 250, 270 yard game the same way he did against teams such as the Titans or the Jaguars, right? When he was the starter. But you know, that's why I kind of looked. I said the defense is going to give the Bills a hard time, man. I mean, we saw Josh Allen and how much he's been struggling this season. I mean, like this struggle really needs to be studied. Like him and quite a few other players, right? But I mean, I think some of the problems it could seem like it's off the field too, between Keon Coleman getting benched, right, for off field issues, you know, to right they you know, James Cook has been killing it, don't get me wrong, but I think that's where the problem is for the Bills, right? Their over reliance on James Cook, their over reliance on that run game, right? And yes, the Texans do have a better pass defense and the rushing defense, but let's not sleep on that rush defense. I mean, they have a very, very well-rounded defensive team that I think the Bills trying to have their over reliance on James Cook. I think that's ultimately where the problem is because that's where the Texans knew that's where the main offensive weapon is going to be, right? It almost gives like how this season, right? How all the defense right now for the Eagles is focused on Saquon, right? That is sort of what's happening now with the Bills that I think it's almost like no one almost knows like what to do, right? You know, Shakir is pretty solid, right? I'm not going to say he isn't, right? Keon Coleman is pretty solid, right? But I wouldn't say they're great offensive weapons. Like, I don't think they're going to, that's like your number one, you know, star receiver, right? I mean, who's your star offensive player right now? Like I said, is James Cook. And the Texans knew that, and they focused their defense heavily on James Cook. And that's ultimately what happened. And I mean, sacking Josh Allen 8 times, you know, to forcing him to throw in what 2-3 interceptions. I mean, the defense for the Texans truly won this game more than the offense truly did.
Man, it's so nice as a Patriots fan to see Buffalo finally get pushed back into obscurity. Okay, the feel good MVPs aside, Buffalo are frauds. Okay, we pointed that out early on, and everybody has done it ever since. They just ain't got it, bro. Like they had their window, and I think that window's closed. Honestly, I last year was their real shot, and they blew it. And this year, he is playing mistake football and showing that the MVP there should have been Lamar's MVP last year. Lamar shouldn't have won the one the year before, but he should have won it last year. And Buffalo is just they're collapsing. No, they might be turning around, but their hopes of winning the East is over with. Because that team up in Foxborough done dropped freaking 1-9 in a row, and they don't show any signs of freaking moving out the way for Buffalo to come up. So definitely, this ain't a good look for McDermott. This was a game you really needed to win, and this is just ugly. Like and Houston played a clean game, no turnovers. Mills didn't even have to throw for 200. I almost said $200. He didn't have to throw for 200 yards. They played a clean, good game, and Buffalo's got a lot of question marks.
No, I agree, man. Like there's a question marks for the Bills, man. They have a long journey if they want to make some noise, man. And they just don't look like it. Just don't look like a cohesive team, man. Like a team that's going to win a championship, right? It's almost like looking at the Lions, man. The Lions they're kind of the darling last year, man. But I always say, man, when you got a good team, you got to strike while the iron's hot, man. Because that next season, you never know how good you're going to be. Right? Free agency is crazy. The draft is crazy. Free agency, from poaching, not just you signing players, but you losing players, right?
Coaches.
Yeah, coaches too, right? So you end up in a situation like the Bills and Lions right now, where you're just trying week to week, you're trying to figure out how good you can be, right? And Josh Allen is just not looking that good, man. It's some inconsistency issues. It's some passing the ball down the field issues, man. They don't have no playmakers for real, man. And you're making James Cook's contract dispute look like he gonna win because he the only reason y'all really winning right now, right? And he wants to get paid, and he's showing you like I can carry the offense.
Is he in a contract year? Did they put him on a franchise tag?
Yeah, I think this is a contract year.
Oh well, then he's gone. He ain't sticking around for that.
Yeah, because he wanted to get paid like $10 million. Like
he wanted to get paid, and I didn't want to give him that money then. But now that you see like what he's been able to produce, somebody's going to give him that.
Yeah,
if it ain't Buffalo, somebody will.
Yeah, so it's just looking crazy. It's looking crazy for the Bills right now. Like you said, Brandon, the AFC East title is done. They can't come back to get that. So you're fighting for the wild card, man. And now with the Ravens kind of coming back, right? Looking like that's an option. You could
look at the AFC West.
Yeah.
Good luck trying to get in with the way that looks.
Yeah, so it's wild. It's wild, man. But Texans definitely good, especially with your backup quarterback. That's pretty good. All right, man. So
Mr. Fingernail Polish himself.
Man, Fingernail Polish been balling, man. He cold, man. He figuring this shit out, dog. He figuring it out, man. He is figuring it out, man. But this is what I was talking about with Chicago, man. I was like, all you gotta do is air it out. You got a quarterback that's talented. You got a Dunze. You got dude from Mizzou last year. You got DJ Moore, and you got Colton Loveland. Right? All you gotta do is find you a nice running back and let him pass the ball. And it's looking good. You got the new coach in there who's an offensive centric mind, right? So he knows how to attack defenses, and he coached with the Lions, so he know how to attack them too, right? So that gives you the leg up, right? But I don't think me and Brandon had Chicago like up there with the top teams in the NFC, man. I don't think so. Not in the offseason.
No, I think we had Chicago in third. I don't think I had them last because I think we thought that the drop off from quarterbacks from Minnesota was going to be substantial, and it has become very obvious that was true, that we were right. So Chicago is sitting in a really good spot right now. Like they look like if they can just keep up what they're doing right now, they'll make the playoffs. Now, this game definitely benefited.
I forgot Mason Rudolph played in this game.
Well, that's what I was getting to tell you. It definitely benefited the Bears that Rodgers didn't play. I feel like if Rodgers plays this game, I don't think the Bears win. But they played a good game. Caleb didn't really turn the ball over. 3 touchdowns, decent completion percentage. Still need that bell cow at running back, maybe James Cook. I don't know. But Chicago's kind of hitting a stride right now. And this is a good quality win. Obviously not a division win, but still good nonetheless.
Yeah, man, it's a good win. Good win. What you thinking, Chanel?
I'm a Steelers fan, so this really hurt me watching this game today.
Oof.
But yeah, no, listen, I'm gonna say here, you know, like the defense for the Steelers, complete drop off. I mean, complete drop off. I mean, I don't know what's happening this
Oh,
season.
one question.
Right?
One question. You think that's the loss of Minkah Fitzpatrick? You think that's a big loss?
Oh yes, yes.
That was
absolutely.
a dumb trade. I would not
Yes,
have
that
made
was
that trade.
a terrible trade.
Okay,
Terrible.
That's what.
Terrible. I could go on for like hours about that trade, but yeah, that was.
She's still salty.
I was so upset when I saw that. Oh my goodness. But yeah, no, this was a really great win from the Bears. I mean, Caleb looked really, really good in this game. And I'm not going to lie, even when he came in as the number 1 overall pick, I mean, I had a little bit of doubts about him. I wasn't the biggest fan of him, you know, with him playing at Southern Cal. But I mean, this game really shows you like the potential of Caleb Williams, right? Like how great of a quarterback he really could be, how much of a franchise quarterback he could be for the Bears. Now, Mason Rudolph, I was never a big fan of him. I was glad that we traded him away. I was really upset when we got him back. You know, I thought this was going to be the game where we were going to start Will Howard.
Man, why
Mason.
are they not playing that guy in the situation? Like Will
I
Howard
don't
is a
know.
better option than Mason Rudolph, bro. Like at this point, if you're gonna play Mason Rudolph, you might as well call Cordell Stewart and see if he could still sling it for you a little bit. Like, because I mean, like, bro, like I just don't see why you brought. I get it. He knows the system. He's been here, yada yada. But like, you drafted Will Howard, just play him in the situations. Let him learn behind Rodgers. And if Rodgers is out like he was today, I put him in there. What's the worst that can happen? You get this?
Yeah, I know. And it's funny too because even with Aaron Rodgers in the game, like even if he was playing, I really don't know just because our defense is so suspect.
That's trash.
It's just that's been the biggest issue. I mean, we looked at how the Steelers played against the Jets. Right? I mean, we ended up with the win, but giving up 30 plus points against the Jets, and that should have told everybody how the Steelers defense.
That's crazy because that's supposed to be our staple because the offense was the question mark coming into the year. Like, why are we having issues on defense? And I think Minkah being gone was one of the dumbest thing you could have done.
Yes.
He was like that glue guy. He's always around the ball. And no disrespect to Jalen Ramsey, but like, come on, man.
No, a lot of disrespect to Jalen Ramsey because that was a stupid trade, bro.
Me and you were like, why?
He way on the other side of the NFL clock, bro.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
boy, he's close. He's further there than Minkah was. Like Minkah is the same on the defense as Derwin James from San Diego. Yeah, we'll say San Diego. He's like the same. He's the same. Right? He's round the ball.
And they last because they're taking hits, but not like, you know what I mean? Like, they're not getting all that work like the other one are.
Yeah, like, I don't know, man. This is just crazy, man. But shout out to the Bears, man. They did
yeah.
thing.
But I will say, too, Mike Tomlin is like,
I know a lot of Steelers fans. Like, are you on the fence of like, hey, like we need to start over, or like you just say, oh, he's been consistent?
Oh no, he needs to go. Like there's no point in having a winning season. I'm sorry. The last time the Steelers even touched the Super Bowl was back in 2009 when I was 8 years old.
You made it in 2011.
In 2011, in 2011 too, but still, you know, last time we won a Super Bowl was back in 2009. I mean, like the whole thing every single year for 10 plus years, you know, has been, oh, Mike Tomlin has a winning record. Oh, Mike Tomlin has a winning record, right?
But I mean, look at same thing with Marvin Lewis. I know Marvin Lewis didn't win a Super Bowl, but like they were consistently like in contention, but just weren't getting it done, you know. And I kind of feel he falls into that bucket.
Yes, where it's just at a certain point, you know, it's like you can't really look at you know, you can't really look at anybody else, right? Not the quarterback to an extent. You can't look at the receivers, although we do need better receivers. You can't really look at them. You know, we do need better defensive players.
I
But
heard
ultimately, you need to look at Mike Tomlin because, again, the between the play calling to the time management of, you know, when they call timeouts, when it was third down, I want to say this was in the third quarter. It was third down, and you know, I want to say like third and like three, and you know, the Steelers decided to do a tush push. We're not the Eagles. That tush push is not working for us. You know, and then on top of that, we have one of the best kickers in the NFL, and I just didn't feel like we were using him as much, especially when we were up. You know, so I don't know. It's Mike Tomlin needs it. I can go on and on, but ultimately, you know, it was a great win from the Bears. I think that the Steelers should really be looking at Mike Tomlin right now.
You said you need receiver help. I heard Chase Claypool was available.
Oh God, no, not again, not again, not again.
You know,
I mean, he was fine as like a wide receiver 3. You know, when we had like Juju. You know, even like towards the end of Antonio Brown's run. You know, with the Steelers. I mean, like when he was kind of like in that rookie stage coming out of Notre Dame, like he was fine. But putting him as like as a wide receiver 2, no, please no. No, keep him far away from the Steelers, please.
And it's quite interesting the fact that the Steelers, you know, don't have receivers right now. That's one of the things that the Steelers have done throughout the history of their franchise. I could go on and on. Lynn Swann, John Stallworth, Plexico Burress for a time, Antoine Randall,
Mike Wallace,
right?
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Antonio Brown, right? Martavis Bryant, I think.
Yep. Santonio Holmes. Yep.
Santonio Holmes. Like this is, you know, Perk Pickens, right? So my thing is, I was like, why would you trade Pickens and you just got DK Metcalf? I mean, 2 crash outs are better than 1. Like, what are you doing, right? And you just got Aaron Rodgers, right? So he needs some weapons. I mean, the Steelers have always had 2 guys, no matter who it was. We always had 2 really good receivers, right? And it's just weird, man. And it's kind of weird to hear a Steelers fan say that, because one thing that I think as a Ravens fan, I respect about the Steelers is that everybody fires their coaches, man. That's crazy. It's teams right now on their 20th head coach, right?
Pittsburgh's got 3.
And 3
Yep.
in the last, 50, 60 years?
Yes. Yep.
That's crazy. You know, for
They
our
don't
youngsters,
want to rock the boat.
youngsters out there, that's Bill Cowher, that's Chuck Noll, and that's Mike Tomlin. Just 3 in the last 60, 70 years. So that's crazy. Consistency, right? So
Yeah.
I'm like, I get it, man. I get it. That the playoff, like the winning seasons, is frustrating, right? It is, right? But you might be right though, because every time that they made a change, it's about this time, right? When it gets a little stale, and you know we need a new face, right? Because when Chuck Noll, like it was a little bit before all of our times when he left the team, right? It got a little stale, right? They had won all those titles with Bradshaw, but them players was gone, right? So new players is in. You bring in Bill Cowher, right? A fresh face, and you get to a Super Bowl 30, I believe. So it's like it's the new face, right? And then when he won that Super Bowl, that last one against Seattle, it got stale a little bit, right? It's time to go. And then you bring in a new face in Mike Tomlin, right? And of course you win, right? But now I feel like we at that time where it's a little stale now.
I feel like they're kind of scared to rock the boat though, because they're scared if they fire him and they don't make a splash hire, it's like, oh well, that completely tarnishes the brand and the reputation. Like if you fire him, for instance, you bring a guy like obviously we've been dogging him about, but like Raheem Morris, for instance, just like coach is a horrible idea.
Yeah.
Like just something like that. I think that's what they would be afraid of. Like if we don't make a splash hire, like we're cooked. Like,
yeah.
But I mean, they like nobody knew Mike Tomlin would have been a splash hire either. Like I when I was coming up, I didn't really like it. I was like, I don't know. That don't seem like, it seemed like you got Dick LeBeau right there, right? That's the guy that would be next up for me, right? So I was like, all right, well, maybe Dick LeBeau didn't want to do it because he was definitely long in the tooth at that time, right? But I was like, that kind of feels like the next move, logically, right? So when Mike Tomlin got the job, I wasn't necessarily excited about it. And
But
you
he
know,
turned. He fixed it though.
I love my black coaches. I do. I hope they can get more opportunities. But if you're not good, bro, you're not good, man. And that's what we talking about, Raheem Morris, man. Like it's just ugly. Like he wasn't good in Tampa Bay. So I don't know why he would even do that. You know, like that's Arthur Blank for you, man. You just can't. But yeah, we going. Damn, come on, man. Damn. All right. So, nothing to talk about here except for my Ravens.
But one question: how many times are the Jets gonna flip flop from starting quarterbacks, bro? Like we're literally freaking switching like drawers. Like it's getting a bit much. Like what are we doing? Like
Because
it's not the quarterback.
They're trying to make the blame Justin Fields, and it's really not, bro.
No.
They're trying to justify drafting a quarterback high again just to be in the Sam Darnold situation again. Like literally, like you're gonna draft Mendoza from Indiana, and then what? You're gonna put him in the same situation that Darnold was in. He's gonna leave and then be good. Same exact thing.
You gonna draft a guy that's never been in the big lights to play in the big lights? It didn't work. Didn't work with Zach Wilson. He played at BYU.
Well, look at the freaking look at the Giants with Daniel Jones.
Like the Giants did the same thing. They drafted a guy that was good, right? But New York is not for everybody. It's not.
Not when your owner's Woody Johnson and your team freaking sucks every year.
Yeah, that too. But it's not for everybody. It's a reason why Joe Namath is like the best quarterback they ever had. And he really not the best quarterback they ever had, statistically, right? But he embraced the lights, right? He loved that shit, right? No matter what. And if you can't find a dude that can embrace the lights of New York, man, you're not going to win, right? The pressure of the media is going to get you. The pressure of winning is going to get you, right? You're already at the bottom of the sports totem pole in New York anyway, right? The Knicks are back. The Yankees are always there. The Mets are always there. You know what I'm saying? So you're not at the top of the totem pole no more. Like, so you got to make a splash, right? But you got to make the right splash, man. But this team has way more flaws than quarterback. If you draft the quarterback like Mendoza and put him in this situation, you're going to kill his confidence already. You got to start with the offensive line. That's it. You got to start with the offensive line because that's the only way you're going to get better, right? I say draft 3 offensive linemen with your first round picks, right? Let's build it from
within. Stockpile draft picks with you stockpile picks, so you would draft with trading your best players. So
so you might as well just build the trenches, man. That's one thing that Rex Ryan always did. Like that's why they were so good. They were good on the defensive line, right? That's the best run they've had since, right? Everybody shits on Rex Ryan, man. But
Rex Ryan went back-to-back AFC title games with Mark Sanchez
balling, man. All right. Now, granted, it was a mixture of draft picks and free agent mercenaries, but that's all right. He got the job done, right? But after that, look how bad they've been, man. Just atrocious. Nasty. Yes. So, like, I'm excited for my Ravens getting a win here. You really didn't have to do much effort. Just not turn the ball over like they did. Get some nice runs from Derrick Henry and get out of here healthy. And let's just move on to the next game, right? Because you don't want to be in a dogfight with the Jets, all right? That's not what you need to be in,
I wish Touchdown Troop was here.
That's probably why he ain't here, because he knew I was probably going to talk shit, because the Jets is ass, man. It's horrible. It's horrible. I really didn't want Aaron Glenn to take this job, man, because this is just, man, it's a tough rebuild, man. Like, and I felt like Saleh was actually ascending if they didn't get Aaron Rodgers, in my opinion.
Yes.
That's my opinion. So, but like I said, nothing really to talk about here. My Ravens got the win, and we above 500, baby. So we
what's really interesting about the Jets, though, like you said, it's just the fact of how many draft picks. Yes, I was shocked that they traded Sauce Gardner. I was shocked that they traded Quentin Williams, right? But like, I mean, the amount of draft picks, it will be really interesting for the 2026 draft, for the 2027 draft, like what they do with those picks.
Just
Because
so they don't botch them.
yeah, that's just what I was gonna
Mhm.
get at, right? I mean, you have the potential there, right? Like even if you don't think, because I mean, let's face it, Tyrod Taylor is old, right? Like he's gonna be out in the next couple of years. Okay, so you have Justin Fields there, you have Garrett Wilson, that's a really good receiver, right? You have Brees Hall, that's a really good running back, right? You can, build up the O line if you can add maybe one or two more offensive players, right? Build up that defense. I mean, I think the Jets, if they do it right, if that's the biggest keys, if they do it right,
Those two don't
they
go together.
yeah, if hopefully they do it right, they really could be a good team. But like I said, it's just a matter of you gotta do it right. Just don't draft stupid. Basically, I mean, you have all the picks that you can possibly get, right? I mean, there's nothing more that someone can basically get from you
You
at that point.
just Woody Johnson's looking at Madden ratings and telling the GM, "Hey, we should draft this guy based on his agility, acceleration." Like this is just realistically. Had they not brought Rodgers in, Saleh would still have that job. He shouldn't have got fired to start with. I feel like they had really
Yeah.
built that team up, and they just completely
Especially
pulled the
on
rug out
defense,
from.
bro.
They pulled the plug out
Mhm.
from. They pulled the rug out from under them, and now they're right back to where they were before Wilson and freaking Darnold. So it's like. And I agree. I think this is a horrible. I get why he took the job. Team that gave him a chance in the first place. But bro, you ain't fixing this. You ain't
Yeah.
fixing this. I'm sorry.
Yeah, this Cleveland level bullshit right here, bro.
Mm-hmm.
That's ridiculous, man. So,
And we're off.
all right, Brandon, this is your part of the show. Let's talk about your Patriots and them being in first place. And let's not talk about the Bengals right now.
Yeah, just another really efficient. It's crazy that Drake May is pretty much leading the league in passing this year, like an every statistical category, and has yet to throw for over 300 yards. Leading the league in pass, but just his efficiency, man. He's averaging anywhere between like 66 and 70% completion percentage. The guy is spot on. He did throw a pick today, but man, having Henderson has been a huge difference maker. And defensively, man, we are just very aggressive. Came out a little flat, down 10-0 early or whatever, 13-0 at one point. But then you've seen a resurgence the second quarter, and then the second half, he just kept playing good, man. Like this team, 9-game winning streak. And if you look at the rest of the schedule, Patriots could realistically finish the year with like a 14-3 record, which almost guarantees you a first round bye, maybe home field advantage, which is crazy because this is a rebuild year under a first new head coach, completely new coaching staff. Cincinnati's just a lost cause at this point. He's looking like he's going to be available with the Ravens game, which will be interesting because he's off the injury reserve and everything now. But they're cooked. But as for the Patriots, it's a really good win.
Yeah, now if I'm Joe Burrow, man, if I'm the Bengals, I sit him. There's no need to play him. The season's over.
Garbage time.
Yeah, the season's over. And I told you that before. I said when he got hurt, I said if he can't come back and they're not winning, there's no reason for him to come back at all. Because what's the point of risking him getting hurt again behind a team that you is not going to protect him?
I wonder how many years he has left on his deal. I've got to imagine it's at least maybe 2 seasons at minimum.
Well, so what? He was drafted in what, 19, right?
Yeah, 2020.
2020, right?
Mm-hmm.
So we're in what, year 5, right?
Year
6 or something.
Yeah.
Year 6, right? So he signed that extension probably.
He's probably got like another 2-3 seasons at least.
Yeah, about 2 or 3. So you gotta think he in it for a while, man. But it's just they don't protect him, man, and that's crazy because that's your golden goose, man. You can't have your quarterback getting fucked up like that, man. Every game he's running for his life.
But the biggest thing for me is the defense, man. Look at that defense when they went to the Super Bowl and they completely let that go. Like I get it, you wanted to pay you guys on offense, and you did that later down the road. But man, you're letting guys like Jesse Bates walk. And a lot of these and you just traded your best tackler in Logan Wilson. It's like, what are we trying to do at this point?
I think that's ultimately the biggest problem. I mean, between, Joe Burrow, between Jamar Chase, especially, right? Like their contracts are so big that you just don't have enough space to be able to
Yeah,
pay for anybody,
And Higgins.
I mean, unfortunately, you just can't, and especially right now, that's why they had the big contract dispute with Trey Hendrickson,
yeah,
this past summer. And ultimately, I just think with Logan Wilson, that's why they ultimately just kind of had to let him go. They just could not afford him. I think that's the biggest problem with the Bengals, is just the money. Jamar Chase is the highest paid receiver in the league, and it's not even like by a little bit. I mean, his AAV, I think, is like $10 to $20 million more than, whoever the second one is, who I think is Justin Jefferson,
yeah.
right?
It's a lot.
So
It's a lot.
yeah, so that right there is the biggest issue. So the Bengals, unfortunately, are not going to have a great defense. They're not going to have a great O line unless they can restructure Jamar Chase's contract, unless they restructure Joe Burrow's contract, and ultimately kind of do what some quarterbacks tend to do, which is like, hey, I'll take a pay cut if that means we get to go pay some other players so we can go and win. Like that's
Mhm.
ultimately what they're going to have to do. But because outside of that, with those three especially, like you're not going to be able to pay anybody, and that's kind of the problem here, especially with the salary cap.
They I'd like to see Burrow in this situation take the Brady approach. Brady took pay cuts like crazy. Now, obviously,
Mhm.
he didn't have his two leading receivers getting paid as much as they did. But like, man, I feel
Yeah.
like and money's important. Don't get me wrong. You want to be highly paid, but like, don't y'all want to win again? Like,
Yeah.
all those guys were on that team. Like, those three guys were on that team. Like, I'd be like, look, set this aside. Like, I don't know about y'all, but I feel like a lot of people were thinking, like, yeah, Higgins is really good. Like, he could be a one somewhere. But I would have locked up Hendrickson. The guy had 10 plus sacks in 2+
Yeah.
years. I mean, I know he's like 29, 30 years old, but like, you need to spend that money more wisely. Now you lose your leading tackle, and it's like, okay, well, where do you look at? Because realistically, unless you smash the draft, you're cooked.
Which
You
they
Mhm.
can't
don't.
bring in any marquee names in free agency because you don't have
Mhm.
the money. So you have to rely on your scouting department to make those hits, and they haven't been doing that. I mean,
Yeah, so I mean, like I said, they got some issues, man. They do. They got some issues moving forward. But like I said, the Patriots are rolling, man. So I want to see if they peaking too early or this is right where they
nah,
need to be.
right where we need to be.
No, you're just a homer. I don't want to hear that.
It's okay.
You're just a homer, bro.
We suffered for a few seasons, so it's time to be back where we belong.
Oh, boo-hoo, man. At least y'all had quarterbacks. Shit. I had to deal with Trent Dilfer my whole for a
Bro,
year.
I'm tired of seeing Cowboys fans online about this game right here. Okay, they swear up and down they're going to the Super Bowl again.
All right, so hear me out, man. So all of this crying and moaning that AJ Brown is doing every week about not getting the ball, right?
Got the ball.
He gets the ball and they lose. This is the second time, maybe third time this year that they've switched the offense up to make him happy and they've lost, right? I don't know if y'all caught that, right? The second loss they had, right? Jalen Hurts threw like 40 passes, which I don't like on this show. I think he should be around 22 to about 27 a game. That's where he needs to be at because it helps the offense flow. If he
Doing too
passing
much.
too much, yeah, if he passing too much, it don't end well. I seen it in Alabama. Doesn't end well, right? So this is what happens, man. It just messes up the whole flow of their offense, man. And I don't think people understand that for real. That all that crying you doing is just hurting the team, man. It really is. It doesn't make any sense to me, right? Like the team is winning, right? You just came off a Super Bowl and you had a big part of that Super Bowl, right? I don't understand what the deal is, right? As long as you winning, right? You getting paid handsomely. You're on a winning team. You got a quarterback that's willing to give you the ball, right? Not like Tennessee, So I don't get it, man. I don't get it, man. And when you got a player like that that's not happy with winning, I think it's time to go. And the way Howie Roseman moves, man, we can't do it right now. Trade deadline's over. But I think in the offseason, you got to think about moving him, man, because it's fucking up the rotation, man. It's like, yo, we chilling. You know what I'm saying? You doing it, but it's just doing too much, man. And I think that's what really cost them, man, because Jalen Hurts ain't supposed to lead you in rushing. All right. You got Saquon, you got another running back, you got Will Shipley. Like, you got so many options at running back. And only 33 yards? No way. No way. And Dallas don't have the defense like that. Not like that. So that's my whole thing, man. I just think AJ Brown is just messing this team up from the inside out, man.
Yeah, I mean, I understand, like the crying to the media is not helping anybody. It's very reminiscent, especially as the Steelers fans, of George Pickens. How last season, how much he was complaining about not really getting targeted, how much he, especially from, Russell Wilson, and how much he, wants to get the ball more, and that's why he ultimately wanted to leave. At the same time, though, when you go from being, the key wide receiver one, that reliant receiver, to then almost being an afterthought, with someone like Devontae Smith, just kind of like, being up ahead like that would hurt, and I think that's ultimately where AJ Brown is kind of feeling a little something type of way. And look, I love Devontae Smith. I loved him at Bama, right? I think he's such a phenomenal player.
Me too.
But I think I loved him at Bama. I thought he was such a great player. But I think that's ultimately where AJ Brown is having the issue, right? Where it's I was that key reliant player. I was, a big part of why the Eagles made the Super Bowl run, obviously on top of Saquon having an insane season last season. But I think now, it's that not as reliant is, I think, where AJ's starting to feel a certain type of way. But I do agree, though, that having AJ Brown, targeted as much as he was, is almost what's messing up the offensive scheme. It would be interesting, though, to see if the Eagles do decide to trade him this offseason. I don't know how much you're really going to get from him, especially given that this season has been very lackluster from AJ, right? But I mean, it would be interesting to see what the Eagles do, because, like you said, the Cowboys aren't that great of a team. I mean, they're decent. I'm not going to say they're a bad team, but they're not, a great team. They're not the Patriots, right? So, I mean, it's going to be interesting to see what the Eagles decide to do. But this was honestly such a good win from the Cowboys. This is a great comeback, especially because going from being down 21-0 to then just winning outright. Like, I was shocked because I turned to another game because I said, "Oh, this game is over." Until my dad told me, he said, "No, the Cowboys won." I said, "What do you mean the Cowboys won?" So I mean, this was a great comeback win from the Cowboys. But it will be interesting to see what the Eagles decide to do with AJ in the off season.
Yeah, nah, man, we get it. We agree, man. So. But we gotta talk about this real quick, man. So Shedeur Sanders gets his first start, man, and they get the win.
You seen that stat, huh? First rookie Browns quarterback to win their debut since '95.
Cleveland, we could have told you that. Just let Dylan play. Like, I don't know why you kept trying to oh man, Dylan Gabriel, he's the guy. Like, y'all messed up, man. Like Shedeur said in the pregame interview, I'm the dude you're looking for. All right. And he's not lying. All right. There's a confidence that he has. It's an arrogance, it's a cockiness, whatever. But you can't be mad. He got it honest. People didn't like Deion because he was arrogant, confident, cocky, whatever, right? So guess what? His kid's the same way, right? He believes in his ability. He believes in that I can turn the Cleveland Browns around, right? And if you got a person that believes that, that's a good start, man. When he threw that big pass, I forgot who it was, right?
Yeah.
You could see the players on the bench Like Myles Garrett, who had 3 more sacks, defensive player of the year, by the way, right? He was like, "Oh shit, I didn't know he had that." He was excited. There's no reason why you're whoever the coach is, Stefanski or whatever his name is,
Yes.
right? There's no reason why you should have been keeping him down, right? The defense knew, and they've been playing good, by the way. They knew that he's the guy. He's one we believe in, right? Y'all putting Flacco in there, that's cool. That's the NFL standard. Let the old guy start, and then the rookie takes over after whatever. But their defense has been playing so good that maybe you win 3 more games, right? Just off the strength of having a quarterback that can stretch the field, right? So I get it. Everybody's like, oh, it's the Raiders, whatever, man. But they got NFL players too on that side.
Yeah, they just fired
Mhm.
Chip Kelly too.
Exactly. So that's a good move. I'm sorry. He just not his NFL career has been terrible. The Eagles was okay. Then he got the 49ers job. That was ass. And now he's back in the NFL. He should have stayed his ass at UCLA. But that's not neither here or there. But like I said, I just think you're in a good spot if you're Cleveland. Just ride with him the rest of the season, right? You're not making the playoffs, whatever. Now, if he start winning too many games and y'all start losing draft stock, then we got a problem.
It's gonna be
But
like a Lovie Smith Houston situation.
yeah, like we ain't gonna do that too much, man. But I want to shift focus to the Raiders, man. So you fire Antonio Pierce after one season where he earns the job, basically, right? But then you bring in Pete Carroll, old ass. All
Which
right.
we thought it was a good idea.
I mean, we did. But hindsight 2020, man, he old as hell.
Yes.
Like he older than he was when he took the Seahawks job, right? So, and I don't know if it's more so him, but I do think that the Raiders have like really big issues, man. This excuse me, this
His
kind of
name's
feels
Geno
like
Smith.
yeah, this kind of feels like the Giants with Barkley and Daniel Jones in a sense, right?
Mhm.
You got this crazy good running back, but nothing else.
And even
That's
a
it.
good tight end, Brock Bowers. I mean, had a
Yeah,
great season
yeah.
last season, and now he's just having a lackluster, second year. But I was shocked that they fired Antonio Pierce because look, were the Raiders bad last season? Yes, they were. Like no one is over here going to say that they were the best team last season, but ultimately Antonio did the best he could with what he had. I mean, his starting quarterback was Aiden O'Connell. Like, there's not much you could really do there, right? And I mean, for Brock Bowers to have the season that he had, right, where he could have went up for offensive rookie of the year, right? Again, with the bad defense that they had last season. I mean, he did the best he possibly could. So I was really shocked that they let him go after one season. I felt like he should have gotten at least one more season, really get, the draft picks, let him get the trades and see what he can do with this new build team, right? See if he really can get the Raiders running, because like I
Yeah.
said, Pete Carroll is old. And the question is,
Bro,
if it's
for
4th and
real.
inches, are you going to give the ball to your Marshawn Lynch, or are you
What's
going
good there?
to get the are you going to have Geno just try to throw a pass into the end zone, right? Like,
Yeah,
I mean, the Raiders are worse than what they were. Like, think about it. You let go of Christian Wilkins, which obviously freaking shit going on. Whatever happened. But like, that's a big time. But that's a big time piece you lost. You have less weapons now. You let go of Jacoby Myers, which was probably your best receiver, and Geno's playing like hot trash.
Yeah,
he is. And
He
then you
back
gave
in
him
the
that
Jets way,
contract,
bro.
and then you had Chip Kelly, which I thought that was a stupid freaking hire. Like, that was
Yeah,
dumb.
bro, that's dumb.
Like, I get it, cool. He was the offensive coordinator for Ohio State. That's a whole different. Yeah, come on, man. Like, this team is worse than it was last year. Like, they've set themselves back. Like, worse. Like, we had higher expectations. Like, I don't think we had the playoffs, but we thought they would at least be competitive, like 6-7 wins minimum. But no, this is bad. I love me some Pete Carroll, but like I liked the fit. But hindsight being 2020, yeah, if this was like 5 years ago, then I'd be like, yeah. But it's a wash. It's a
Yeah,
wash.
yeah, man. I love the Tyson flag. Oh, yeah. Right on, Terry. Yeah, man. I fuss with it too, man. You know, it's a part of my vibes, man. So when I'm in here creating, you gotta think, knock it out the park, or knock them out in the first round. Which one you want?
Biting ears
So,
and everything.
yeah, man. So Tyson was my dog, man. So I love Mike Tyson anyway, man. But we're gonna move forward. We almost finished, man. We're gonna pick these games real quick, man. Like I said, for people that don't know the picture in the background, that is the Silver Dome in Pontiac,
Silverdome.
Detroit. Yeah, Pontiac, Michigan, should I say? That was the home of the Lions before they built Ford Field. So I had to give that some love, man, because I seen how it looked when they took the roof off. It was so I'm like, that's so sad. Like Barry Sanders went for a bunch of yards in this stadium. Why would y'all do that? You know, but nonetheless, man, I gotta give it some love, man. But that's what I do sometimes. I put vintage stadiums in the background sometimes, man. So but who y'all got, man? We'll make this quick.
All I gotta say is I give this to the Lions. You know, I like the Packers, I like their defense, but with the Lions, I think the one name that we all need to just think of it is Jahmyr Gibbs. Like he is a dog, you know, and
Yeah.
especially how he played today, despite the Lions going into overtime, right? I mean, like that man right there, you know, first play in overtime, and you already running for 60 yards plus for a touchdown. I think he's gonna be the big factor in this game. So give me the Lions in this game.
Burrow averaged 14.5 yards a carry today. Just imagine that. I think the difference maker in this game is that Green Bay is going to probably be without their running back, and Detroit has theirs. I know that Detroit had some issues, especially offensive play calling, because Dan Campbell's kind of had to step in and do that. But I think Detroit just got more than what Green Bay does, and I just don't think Green Bay's trending in the right direction. I like what Detroit's doing. Just hand it off. Just hand it off to Gibbs. If you don't hand it off to Gibbs, guess what? Goff can throw it to whoever the hell he wants because he's that damn good. Give me Detroit at home.
Yeah.
Will they draft it? I think they need to go quarterback.
They have to.
It's time.
Yeah, they got.
No, I think you go this year. This year's class is better than last year's class. Like I think you have to.
You got to get somebody in there, man. You got to start building that nucleus, man.
Like this is probably the year you trade up. Like, well, you're probably going to be a lottery pick anyway. But if you can get higher, I think this is the year you trade up and get your guy.
Yeah, I agree. You got to start building that nucleus, man. All right, so are we dropping dimes next week, or what are we doing?
Man, yeah. Drop the dimes, Cam.
Yeah. Right. Let me tell you something. Between Daniel Jones, Jonathan Taylor, how great of a season he's having, right? I mean, listen, I love the Texans. I they have a great defensive team, right? But I mean, I just think offensively, Indianapolis has a lot more going for them than Houston does. And I think that offense is truly going to make the difference, right? To where the defense can't, the defense, I don't think are going to be able to play well enough to offset how the offense is going to be able to play. So I think because of how much of a stronger offensive team Indianapolis has, give me Indianapolis at home.
See, Jonathan Taylor didn't do nothing today. Jared Cook went for over Jared Cook, whatever his name is, Cook went for over 100 yards on Houston today. If he can go for over 100 of them, Jonathan Taylor can go for 200. And Daniel doesn't have the greatest game today, but he's been dropping dimes all year. Give me the Colts.
It's funny you should say that, Brandon.
Drop some dimes.
Drop some dimes, baby. So I got the Colts in this one, man. And then Terry, man, we're gonna get into that a little later, man. We'll get into that on another show, man. About who we think the Raiders should draft, man. But because it's a lot deeper than just who they should draft. It's about the fit. It's about the system. Everything. So it's a little deeper. That's a loaded question, man. All right. I think we got one more, man. All right. So we got two teams really good, man. I'm gonna go the Bears in this one, man. I think the Bears looking for a signature win. I got the Bears.
This is an interesting one. I actually see this game going to overtime. I think this is going to be a great game, especially with the way that the Bears won today and the way that the Eagles kind of blew their lead in today's game. I think we're going to see Sirianni and the Eagles revert back to where we're not going to see a lot of AJ Brown. I do think we're going to see a lot more Saquon. I think we're going to see a lot more Devontae Smith. I think we're going to see a lot more of those guys. So give me the Eagles by 3 in overtime.
All
Give
right.
me the Bears. Give me the
All right.
Bears. I think I love Howie Roseman. I like what the Eagles got, but man, they got some question marks.
Yeah.
You got to be able to run the ball. Jalen Hurts should not be leading you in rushing, and Jalen Hurts should not be throwing 35, 40 times a game. Been having the same conversation for the last 3-4 years. Eagles have a lot more talent, but I think the Bears are playing with a lot more momentum, and I think Caleb Williams has a good day. Give me the Bears.
All right. Sounds like a plan, man. All right. That's it, man. That is our show, man. That is our show, man. So we appreciate Chanel and all of her knowledge, man, today. Very, very good show. Very good show, man. We would love to have you on more if that's something you would like to do. But we ask all of our guests on here, where can people find you and how can they support your channel?
Yes, so I am on TikTok. I am on Instagram. I'm on Facebook. I'm on YouTube. I'm on Threads. I'm on Twitter. Right, so you can go find me all over there. It's the same name, Ball Talk with Chanel. That's the name on all of those on those social media platforms.
All right, cool, man. So we just finishing up, man. Like I said, not too much to talk about for real. But like I said, we gonna be back next Sunday, man. But if you up tonight past midnight, check out our new album release, man. Volume 4 of the Football Frame of Mind music series. That'll be the last one. Releasing at midnight, so check it out if you're into that type of stuff. Ain't nothing really on there, just some beats, but check it out, man. So just check it out, man. Just a little snippet. Don't want to spoil it all. But nonetheless, man, we enjoyed this show today, man. So before we get up out of here, anything you gotta say to the people, Brandon?
Yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed tonight. Next week is going to be another really big time. We pick up the interview time series as we get a former LSU Tiger and Atlanta Falcon, Mr. Todd McClure. Same time next week, 8:30 p.m. Eastern time, man. We're going to be able to really ask those hard-pressed questions, draft process, playing for different teams. Guy got to play with Matt Ryan, got to play with Michael Vick, Warwick Dunn, John Abraham, guys like that. So if you are available at this time next week, 8:30 p.m. Eastern time next Sunday, man, we're going to have a former NFL player in the house. We haven't had an interview in about 3-4 months up at this point. So it's really going to be a really good time if you can make it.
All right. Yeah, that's gonna be fun, man. So y'all tune in, same place, same time. Don't forget to support Chanel and everything she's doing, man. So we're gonna be all right, man. But we'll see y'all next Sunday, and we hope y'all here with us, man. So peace.
Thank you.